in an accident, you need a lawyer, and you deserve an advocate. Because every accident has a ripple effect. It affects your time, your health, your ability to make money, everything. That's where the advocates can help. Speaking with an attorney is simple and 100% free. We're available 24/7 for your convenience, and we'll take on the claims process so you can rest easy. Because you're not just a client to us, you're a person, and you deserve the best help you can get. You deserve an advocate.
This is the Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find the Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, the Monty Show live on your YouTube machine. It is Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. Boy, do we have a show for you today. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. And again, I tell you, if you're out there driving, we are having some crazy weather. Get in a car accident? Did a semi-truck hit you? Did you get hit while you were riding your bicycle? Don't trust your insurance company. They're not working for you. Why wouldn't you get clear, risk-free advice where you never have to reach into your pocket? No. You never pay the Advocates. No cost. In fact, you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Chat with an injury attorney live online 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com. There is a lot of breaking news going on. Some shocking. This one probably is not. Just in the last 5 minutes, Boston Celtics star Jayson Tatum, he gone, done. Torn right Achilles tendon, torn right Achilles tendon. Injured it last night at the Garden against the Knicks in Game 4. He's already had surgery. Jayson Tatum, according to the Celtics, has already had surgery on his torn right Achilles tendon. I don't know if there's even an argument to be had. The New York Knicks are in the driver's seat in the East.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, I think that, it's pretty clear they're going to win that series. I think
you do.
That series is over. I think Tatum was driving them offensively. Was 40-point night last night before the injury. Was absolutely dominating. And then at that point, the injury happens and the game goes away from you. So it's just unfortunate. I think we were headed for a long series, a really good series, a deep series, and unfortunately, that injury pretty much ends that. So.
Yeah, I can be quiet here for a few minutes if you want to. What would be the word if you want to unload your feels and your emos? We don't need
to talk about loads, dude.
That's later because we're going to talk about the Diddy trial. Yeah, we're going to talk about the Diddy trial coming up. But if you want to unload your emos and feels about how right I was about this series. Where I said, don't be surprised if the Knicks win it. You told me I was fat and stupid. I told you shouldn't say things like that. It's hurtful.
It took Buddy tearing his Achilles for you to win.
They were going to win that game before Tatum.
Not.
Yes, they
Get
were.
The hell out of here,
yes,
dude.
they were.
No, they were not.
Yes. Okay.
Oh, my word.
Okay, I feel really strongly. You were texting me in all caps, Knicks.
Dude. Yeah, because they won the game, bro.
They were winning. That was during the game. The Knicks were playing well. Percentage the Celtics can win the series.
20% at most.
So it is still, you're saying there's a chance.
It's still possible. I mean, we could still see.
Likelier comeback, the Celtics or the Cavs?
Oh, the Celtics, I think, would be the likelier comeback. I don't know what the deal with the Cavs is outside of their injuries they're dealing with, obviously. They're just not the same team. And we can spend all day talking about Donnie or whatever you want to look at with their team, but it's
is he the scapegoat in this series, Donovan Mitchell?
He's definitely the leader of their team, and I didn't like how he handled the whole ankle at the halftime situation.
How it hurts.
Yeah, I understand it hurts. I understand that it's not ideal, and I understand you're limping around, but again, who do you want to be, dude? Do you want to be the guy that people remember as you busted your ass and played through a bum ankle? Or do you want to be the guy that everyone remembers came out, before the second half started and bent over? It just is not a great look.
I'm not going to sit here and question whether or not Donovan Mitchell's hurt. He's hurt. I'm not going to question Donovan Mitchell's heart. I think we know him too well. I think he plays with his heart. But this is who this cat is. He is always hurt in the second round, and his team suffer because of it. The Cavs are going home tonight, even though at Rocket Arena, they're favored by 8.5 points.
Yeah.
If you are Indiana, you got to end it tonight. I think that's a critical one. Don't forget about the Nuggets and OKC, too. OKC's a 10-point home favorite tonight in OKC. Don't be so sure about that. I think it's one of those things where it is my opinion. It is my opinion that you have to, and this is just me. If you're OKC, you can't let Denver believe they have any chance of winning. There is no chance.
No, you got to put them down.
Yeah, I agree. You got to put them down.
And
There's
I think the same for the
chance
for the Pacers, and the Knicks. I think you got to put these teams away, move on, and again, going off of the Tatum injury, I if I'm a team in the playoffs, I would be paying attention to that, because every single minute that you play extra that you didn't need to play, is just another opportunity.
So I'll give you one more chance.
No, I'm not doing it.
You're not going to give me my flowers.
Bro, you needed Buddy to tear his Achilles to win that game, bro.
I never said how. I just said the Knicks were going to be in position.
Facts straight.
I told you they'd be in position to win the series. They're not getting blown out. I would also like to point out, Minnesota is not better than Golden State if Steph Curry is playing.
Yeah.
Last night, Steph didn't play. Minnesota won that game. And Minnesota's also up 3-1. So that's all tomorrow night. So that's a huge story. It sucks that Jayson Tatum's hurt.
It just was awful. It was a great game. They were going back and forth. He was having a great night. And then and you knew it as soon as you saw it. Like as soon as he fell over, I was like, uh-oh.
Oh, you knew it was an Achilles right away.
Like, what happened, dude?
Even Mrs. Monty and I are watching the ball game, and that happens, and she's like, "Oh yeah, that's you can just you can see it." Yeah. And it's really unfortunate because he is one of the brightest young talents in the league. He's the highest paid player in the league, I think, still.
Yeah.
Not anymore, because now he's not in the league. He's sitting on the sideline.
Entering his year 27th age season, like entering his prime. Like, just I
wonder, he'll be the best player ever to tear his Achilles tendon, because Kobe did it at the end of his career, and Kevin Durant has never been the same guy since he did that, but also toward later in his career.
Right.
Not the end, but later. Jayson Tatum isn't even in his prime yet. Like you said, 27 years old.
Yeah.
How does Jayson Tatum come back and be the same guy that he is now?
Well, I think with his age, he's got the opportunity to, but I think it's a big question.
I hope so. Yeah. And then there's this story right here. I don't even know what you say about this. Pete Rose removed, amongst others, Shoeless Joe Jackson on that list, removed from the banned list, if you will, by Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred this afternoon. Rob Manfred saying now that lifelong punishments do not follow people once they're dead, into the afterlife, whatever that looks like. So Pete Rose, who you and I both know is in hell, hell's not real, but the point is, Rob Manfred saying lifetime bans end when somebody dies. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame?
No. Nope. And I have a major problem with this, dude. Like, okay, so now we just erase everything you did in your life because you passed away?
Well, what this is going to be.
Like,
this is going to be where we start talking about what Pete Rose, he was troubled, but look how good he was on the field, and what a guy at the end of his life. He totally I don't care. He broke the only rule you cannot break. You want to be in the Hall of Fame? Don't bet on baseball. Pete Rose knew that rule, broke it anyways, and then denied it for decades. And then finally, when he thought he was going to die soon, mea culpa, admitted it. They still didn't put him in. He still died And now, this is why I'm troubled by both sides of this.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, let's talk about from the worst commissioner in all of sports, Rob Manfred, the commissioner of Major League Baseball. So he admits it, then he dies, and now you want to make Pete Rose eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Why?
Why not do it before he dies?
So what you're telling me is you had made this decision, Rob Manfred, many years ago, and you were just waiting for Buddy to pass away. That's what this is. That you're saying, hey, these bans and these punishments, when you pass away, we're, now that you're gone, we would never want to reward you personally, but the memory of you, yeah, you can have your flowers, bro. The memory of you can be in the Hall of Fame. Like, I just hate the message it sends. You're sitting here seemingly changing everything about baseball, changing the game, adding all this stuff that was totally unnecessary. And now we have to have an integrity conversation. Now I got to ask Rob Manfred, okay, well, why is it that you would want to reward or put a guy on a pedestal who, I agree, broke the only rule you can't break? You want to take steroids and lie about it? Okay, cool. You can break that rule. And we can have a conversation.
Because y'all eventually admit it.
Right, right.
Y'all come around.
Right, like we all can have a conversation about like, hey, well, everyone in that era was taking steroids. It wasn't really taboo when we were doing it. And now we can have the thing. But with Pete Rose, it's different because this is on a different level, dude. This is a different level. So don't try to sit here and tell me that, oh, well, now that he's passed away, like it really bothers me that that's the angle we're working here. Instead of just owning it, instead of Rob Manfred being accountable and just saying, yeah, you know what, I believe he should be in the Hall of Fame. I just, whether he's alive or dead doesn't really matter. It's been long enough. Like, let's put the guy in.
I texted a baseball writer I know, a guy that has a Hall of Fame vote. He what's the first thing he said to me? And I've known this guy for years and years and years. First thing he said, when I said, hey, do you think Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame? Would you vote for him? Only if Barry Bonds is eligible. And I said, Barry isn't banned. Yeah, he is, with a laughing emoji.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's banned. Like, you cannot he might not be on the ban list. He's banned.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds is never going to. So let me get this straight. Pete Rose broke the only rule you can't break. He's likely, I think, he's likely to get it.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That's the only reason you did this. You took him off the
100%.
list. You took him off the list with the intent of putting him in. 100%.
Have to. Are you telling me that Barry Bonds is not going to get in, but Pete Rose is? Are you telling me that Mark McGwire, who I think did more for Major League Baseball than Bonds and Rose combined with his Sosa McGwire home run chase in 2001. You're telling me, or 98, excuse me. You're telling me Mark McGwire won't get in, but Pete Rose will get in. Come on.
It's a travesty, dude.
This is the wrong time. This is not some humanitarian. He's dead. Why don't you just no. If you weren't going to put him in when he was alive, what are you, a masochist, and you wanted him to suffer all the way to the day he died? Well, that's what happened. And now you're telling me, well, okay, Pete's suffering has come to an end. Let's put him in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
What do you mean, dude?
Why put him in? Somebody give me a reason to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Shoeless Joe Jackson. Why are you going to put him in? Homeboy's been dead for how long? Why are we putting him in? What just today changed with the worst commissioner in all of sports? Nothing changed. He's looking for a win. That's my honest opinion. Rob Manfred is looking for a win that he can put on his legacy and on a resume. And and then Rob Manfred allowed Pete Rose to get into the Hall of Fame. No, sorry, bro. It doesn't work that way. You're the worst commissioner in the history of Major League Baseball, bar none. And this is a Hail Mary,
yes,
towards your legacy. And I think it stinks to high heaven. You cannot put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
I just think the biggest issue isn't even Pete Rose himself. The biggest issue is is your reason for doing this, right? Like the concept of, hey, well, now that he's gone, we can do this. Like, that just sends a terrible message. That sends the message that, hey, do whatever the hell you want when you're alive as a major leaguer and, gamble or take steroids or whatever it might be. And then once you pass away, we'll take that off and, you're good. You're good.
And
like, what?
And again, I want people to understand the guys who use steroids are not banned. They're shadow banned. Yeah. They're not getting in because, we can't.
Yeah, I agree. That's a term, shadow ban.
We can't put Barry Bonds in the Hall of Fame with Joe DiMaggio. That would screw you. Okay, like you Mr. Arrogant, I'm really important baseball writer, move along with your death. Right? Like, to me, that's where baseball has its biggest problem. Baseball's integrity dies with the white hairs who have the Hall of Fame votes.
100%.
But here's the truth about Pete Rose. He broke the only rule you cannot break. He bet on baseball, including the Cincinnati Reds, who he managed. I would also remind you, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Sosa, Roger Clemens with that needle of B12 in his ass, all those guys, that was the renaissance of Major League Baseball. That was, without a doubt, I remember where I was when Mark McGwire hit the home run. And I don't have to tell you what home run he hit, when he hit the home run.
Right.
I was in my girlfriend at the time, Mrs. Monty's Jeep Wrangler on the 210 freeway in Tahunga, California. La Cañada. That's where I was.
Lidocaine and B12.
It saved Major League Baseball. It brought people back from the strike. It made people care. We turned on the TV every night. It made Major League Baseball money. It brought people to the gate. It brought people back to the jersey. It brought people back to buying hats. It saved baseball, period.
Why would you want to put those guys in? I mean, it's not like they save baseball or anything.
I am over. If you're one of the guys, and I haven't even gotten into the comments section yet, but if you're one of the guys who wants to run out Pete Rose and Charlie Hustle and the stats, and look at, I love everybody. It's like, well, he's a hit king. Look at all the hits. Cool. He bet on baseball.
Like, it just stops right there, dude. Like, this is not hard to understand.
Did he know about the rule? No. Well, then what's that sign in every major league clubhouse that's still there today and has been for generations?
This is the Jim Harbaugh thing, right? Whether you knew or you didn't know, you're still guilty. Like, if you didn't know, you're an idiot. You have a responsibility to know. Like, it's part of the profession to know. Like, we all have things that we, inherently know. Like, doing a show, there are some words you inherently don't say no matter what you're talking about. Like, you just know that's a rule.
Yeah.
Right? Like, every major leaguer knows. And I would go a step further and say every professional athlete, including college athletes, know damn well you shouldn't be gambling on sports. You know that. But yet, this dude went out and did what he did, and now everyone wants to sit here and defend him because what? Bob, your neighbor down the street, gambles, and everyone else in the public gambles? I got news for you. There's a difference, bro. I don't have the ability to affect a Major League Baseball game or the outcome.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can sleep well at night knowing I suck at PrizePicks with Major League Baseball and knowing my gambling isn't going to affect the outcome, dude. Like, why is it that I can't remember which umpire it was. Like, earlier, might have been last year. I'd have to look it up. But that umpire, one of the best umpires in Major League Baseball, got removed from the sport for gambling. Nobody batted an eye at that. But God forbid the hits leader in Major League Baseball is kept out of the Hall of Fame for breaking the only rule you can't break. Now we got a problem. That's my issue, dude.
I'm not willing to do it. I'm not willing to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame.
Like, does it not make you feel dirty if you're someone defending this decision, or if you're Rob Manfred, choking on your pneumonia cough? Do you not feel dirty, doing this? Like, that's what I really struggle with this guy. And I think the commissioner conversation is a real one now, because I have been dying on the hill the last 6 months with Adam Silver saying that dude needs to be replaced. But he's not doing stuff like this. He's just not good at growing the NBA in terms of the basketballing and like making the All-Star experience better and those type of things. That's not really his forte. Business-wise, they're doing fine. But like the cool kid stuff, he's not real good at. With Rob Manfred, now I got to be like, dude, bro, you're sitting here shadow banning Mark McGwire, and now Pete Rose is in. What are we doing?
This is the same guy who said, well, I'm going to retire. Like this guy releases a statement, makes an announcement. I'd like to announce I'm going to retire after the 2029 season. What? Why are you telling us now? That just makes us hate you more.
But do you see what I mean? Like, that's a great example.
What are you doing?
Like this guy, I think it's a perfect comparison. So let me get this right. Pete Rose dies, and then sometime later, you decide to take him off the list so that he can get into the Hall of Fame.
Not the day he died.
Like, gosh.
If it had been the day he died, okay. On principle, he's dead now. All's forgiven.
Like, you've had your cup of coffee on this, dude. You've been thinking about it and like stewing on it. And what? Did you get on the phone? Because there are some people, and I don't know if it's factual, but there are some people claiming that, you know, he had conversations with the president and with other people. And, you know, he's only doing this because the general sentiment is that Pete Rose should be in. And I'm just saying, as a commissioner, I understand the stated goal is to grow the game, right? As a commissioner of whatever sport, Commissioner Roger Goodell, your job is to have 18,000 international games a year, 10 years from now. That's your job, bro. But this is bad business right here, dude. Once again, and this is the bow I'll put around it. Once again, I'm not sitting here talking about Paul Skeens volunteering for Team USA. No. We're not talking about that. We're talking about Pete Rose and you doing something that makes you look stupid.
Some of the darkest names
like,
in baseball history. Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson. Like, it's remarkable. All right, let's get your thoughts in here. The Pope, Big Pontiff. That's right. The Pope has been a member of the Monty Show for 28 months.
Yeah.
Long before
easy, bruh.
He was ever the Big Pontiff, because pontiffing ain't easy.
Yeah.
Bruh. Brandon Butler, good to see you. Eric Wasikowski, Donnie brokered peace in India and Israel. He can fix sports. Okay. Right on, bud. TJ Beck, hot take. Does the new owner of the Blazers move them to a bigger market in Seattle, whomever the new owner is? Yeah, the Portland Trail Blazers will be put up for sale by the estate of Paul Allen.
Yeah, maybe then they can get the number 1 overall pick, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Johnny Gonzalez. So you knew this was kind of I'm kind of disappointed you didn't bring up Ipe. By Pete Rose not having an Ipe to blame, his gambling on disqualifies him from the Hall. Ipe, of course, you know, Big Sexy's
fall
interpreter,
guy.
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah,
his fall
I
guy.
love that too. Like, see, thank you, Johnny, dude. Thank you, bro. This is precisely my point. Let me get this right. So you just got over one of the biggest gambling scandals in Major League Baseball since Pete.
Ipe stole money.
What? The star? Bro,
Shohei.
Our biggest star in the game, an LA Dodger, is involved in one of the biggest gambling situations we've had in the game. Yeah, I better put that under the rug. He's the fall guy. We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Head your ass out to Alcatraz, dude.
The Big Pontiff, steroid era in MLB profited off of. Yes, they did.
Yes.
Hell, if not for roids, baseball might have died. Rose admitted to what they never proved about Joe. Even the rumors of gambling got you banned. I don't disagree with that. Pollyanna, Polly, good to see you. Both of them are out. Jesse Crum, hello, Jesse. MLB's all-time home run leader is banned from the Hall of Fame. That's wild. I'm telling you now that if you're going to put Pete Rose in, Barry Bonds, it better be right there with him. Mark McGwire, it better be right there with him. I don't think Sammy Sosa is a Hall of Famer on merit. Forget the cork bat and the steroids.
Right.
Is Roger Clemens? Probably.
Yes, Roger Clemens is.
Right? Like,
yes.
I just feel like, yeah. Stadium guy James Rose hit. Here we go. 4,256 hits. His on-field play is Hall of Fame level. Personally, he's a knothead. He gambled on baseball. That's not being a.
But see, here's the deal, dude. Here's the problem. And again, I'm not trying to hate on you, dude, but this is why I disagree. We're not having a conversation about on the field. This
No.
is not an on the field baseball X's and O's
This
conversation.
is not a statistical analysis.
And so what we don't get to do, and again, this is why I have such a problem with this. This is why I hate the fact, I literally despise the fact we have to talk about this thing.
Yes.
It's a complete and utter waste of my time and this show's time to have to talk about this again. But the problem is with comments like this, James, is nobody disagrees with the numbers. The numbers are the
Jimmy.
numbers, right?
Jimbo.
But what we don't get to do is cross these two sort of paths, right? These two parallel conversations. And this is what you say about sports, right? It's okay to hate the athlete, right? The football player, right? The guy on the field. It's okay to hate that character. It's okay to hate Draymond. But you don't want to hate Draymond as a dude. We separate on the floor and off the floor. And so with Pete Rose, it's a very simple proposition. Stop talking to me about numbers and stuff because it has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm shocked that there are so many people willing to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. Like I'm really surprised by that. All right, let's welcome our newest partner to the show, Rula.com/Monty. You guys, I've talked about it a lot on this show, mental health. And I think as men, we're proud. We don't want to talk about mental health. We don't want to talk about struggling with mental health. We don't want to talk about how much it costs to get help. If you are struggling with mental health, you don't have to deal with any of that anymore. Go to Rula.com/Monty. Talk to a qualified provider for $15. In most cases, if you have insurance, it's $15 to have somebody help you. And they're not just in general. You can go in, and the thing that I love about Rula's system is that you can go on Rula.com and they have practitioners and professionals ready to help you in every modality with every case that you're struggling with. You put in your details and you have a professional that's ready to be there for you when you need it. And it's not an arm and a leg. Mental health care, I've told you this. We've talked about this a lot on the show. I'm passionate about bringing mental health out of the shadows and the darkness and making it something that is no different. Hey, I don't feel good. I have a cough. Let me go to the doctor. Hey, you know what? I'm struggling with the thoughts that I have in my head. I'm having trouble getting out of bed. I'm frustrated with what's going on in my career or at work. It's $15. Cost is not an issue. Rula.com/Monty, please. If you need help, if you are struggling, go and get it. And it's not just for men. I mean, you guys, I cannot highlight enough that when we talk about Rula, we talk about the fact that you have so many opportunities to take a stand in your life every day and do something about the things you struggle with. And one of the reasons I'm so excited this week we get to partner with Rula is because when you go to Rula.com/Monty, you are taking a stand. You are making a statement. You are building a relationship with yourself, saying, I want the best for myself. I want to feel the best. I want to be able to provide for my family emotionally, financially, physically. Be the best version of yourself. Rula.com/Monty. It's $15. In most cases, when you have health insurance, it's $15. You can afford $15. That's lunch, right? That's going out to Chipotle. That's $15 won't buy you Chipotle, but
Or Five Guys, but who's counting?
You know what I mean? Like you can afford that $15. It is an investment in your prosperity. It is an investment in the best part of you for the rest of your life, please. And I know you're probably tired of hearing me talk about how we need open, honest exchanges about mental health. Rula.com/Monty. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. Go get the help you need. It's affordable. It's $15. Get it right now at Rula.com/Monty. All right, let's get some more of your comments in here about Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. If you want to react to Jayson Tatum, the news today, it is a huge, huge story. The news today about Jayson Tatum. He had surgery to repair his Achilles tendon. It is a right Achilles tendon tear. Jayson Tatum done for the rest of the playoffs and a good part of 25-26. Listen, do you think the Celtics have a chance to win this series? I do not. I think the Knicks are playing at a very high level. You're looking at a guy, to your credit, you talked about Jalen Brunson having to have that game last night. Well, boy, did he.
Yeah.
50, I think it was 59 points, rebounds, and assists combined last night. Huge effort out of him. Can the Celtics still win the series? It's doubtful. They're down 3-1 now to the Knicks. And I think one of the bigger stories today is this Pete Rose thing, where Pete Rose is now apparently, and I say apparently because if you're Major League Baseball, why would you want to make it abundantly clear? But apparently Pete Rose is eligible for the Hall of Fame right now, as Commissioner Rob Manfred has removed him from the ban list, amongst others, including Shoeless Joe. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Should it happen? Big Daddy Magic, I love your life advice. I truly appreciate it. Big Daddy Magic, appreciate you too, man. Get to Rula.com, you guys. Rula.com/Monty.
Link's in the description, man.
Link is in the description. Go click on it. It is, I'm telling you guys.
And one other cool thing is they can turn that around. They can get you in typically within 24 hours, which I think is really valuable, because I know most of the time it takes, sometimes it can take like 3-4 days to have the conversation, which obviously isn't ideal. So I think that's also super valuable.
You can get next day video sessions with a therapist for $15. And the other thing about Rula.com is they're going to verify your out-of-pocket cost before you ever have service, so that you know exactly what your cost is. And in most cases, it's $15, you guys. Go get it done. Find an in-network therapist. I just appreciate Rula.com partnering with the Monty Show this week. I am thrilled that they are here. So go get that done. Big Daddy Magic, appreciate you. Illumindursky, why would you put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? No idea.
Why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? Oh, why wouldn't you? Because he broke the only rule that you cannot break.
Yeah.
He broke the only rule you can't break. It has nothing to do with his on-field performance. There is nothing in the policy in Major League Baseball that says, hey, as long as you're the best hitter of all time, you can gamble on baseball in the Cincinnati Reds. You cannot gamble. And you certainly can't gamble on baseball, and you absolutely can't gamble on the Cincinnati Reds.
How are you going to go about
your own team?
How are you going to go about disciplining players in the future who choose to break this rule when you're going to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame? Like, you're a hypocrite, dude.
I think it is. I think it's pretty ridiculous. That's just me. Major letdown. Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe are a non-story to me. Dude, I'm a diehard baseball fan now. I think it's a huge story. Seems like everyone who ever swung a bat gets in the Hall of Fame these days just doesn't mean anything anymore. I disagree.
Yeah, that's just not true.
Yeah, I don't know that it's true or not true. I mean, if you feel like it doesn't mean anything, hey, I live with that. That's cool. I think you can't do it. You can't put him in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. I just don't think you can. I feel like it is. Integrity of the game feels highfalutin.
But it is.
Ivory tower. But at what point do you stand up and say, yeah, there's a line? There's a line. I can justify steroids, Barry Bonds, A-Rod, Alex Rodriguez should be in the Hall of Fame. I understand that. But is it hundreds and thousands of players who have gambled on baseball? No. No, it's not. It just isn't. I'm stuck on it.
Yeah, I think the question of what does it take, like, if I'm a Major League Baseball player, what would I have to do to never be considered for the Hall of Fame, assuming I have the numbers and everything on the field? What would I have to do off the field to be banned for the rest of existence?
Yeah. Big Pontiff, Silver is making Manfred look like a freaking Goodell. Rob Manfred has made so many mistakes. The Arizona situation on its own. I could go on and on. I could go on and on. Stadium Guy James, why are we going to hold a grudge against Pete Rose? He has more hits than anyone in baseball. That's irrelevant. Nobody is arguing he is one of the greatest offensive players ever. Nobody. Let's honor his career. Right, but you can't talk about Pete Rose's career without talking about him betting on baseball in the Cincinnati Reds.
So wait, am I
How do you do
understanding
that?
this correctly? And in the comments section, Let me know if this is a popular opinion. Are you guys suggesting, because this comment is suggesting, specifically this comment, is suggesting that the Hall of Fame only applies to what you did on the field? Because that's kind of what you're saying here, is that, hey, like, who gives a damn if he bet on the game, even though that's, materially affects what happens on the field, I might point out. But who gives a damn that he bet on the game? He's the all-time hits leader in Major League Baseball, and was a great player. He's a Hall of Famer. So I don't care about it. Like, is that really where we are?
Yeah, no, I'm not.
I'm not there. I agree with you. I'm not there at all. I think that this is Rob Manfred taking him off this list. You're as guilty as him, dude. You're perpetuating the idea that hey, you can gamble on the game and still be a Hall of Famer. That doesn't work, dude.
Can't do it. I think when we look at them, and again, I understand the system's flawed, but this is old men voting on the Hall of Fame. They don't vote for people because they just don't like the way you looked at them. Barry Lamar's not in the Hall of Fame because of the TV near his locker and the fact he was rude to people. I'm not even sure that it's the steroids. Pete Rose, it's well known. Why do we have rules in society? If Ollie Gordon, all he has to do, Oak State James, is run stairs, why do we have DUI laws? Why don't those DUI laws say, hey, just go run some stairs, everything will be fine? Well, because people die regularly. We have rules in place for a reason. At what point, and I understand that we're supposedly this land of rules and laws. Well, we never enforce them anymore. So what's the point of having a rule of law if we're not going to enforce them?
Don't get it.
I don't understand it.
Yeah, couldn't agree more, dude.
Mike Smith, I think more people think he should be in the Hall of Fame versus those who think he should not. At least that is what it seems like. Yeah. I'm sure there's a large swath of society who just doesn't care. Put him in.
And by the way, if you're that person, I would rather someone, like, I would rather you guys, if you're pro Buddy in the Hall of Fame, like, I would rather you just say, yeah, I don't care that he gambled. He's the all-time hits leader. He's a great player. Put him in. That's my take. Okay, at least I can respect you for saying you don't care. Like, at least that's a conversation that I can have. But you're like the argument of, well, because he's a great player, that means that what he did off the field doesn't matter. I just think that's child's play, dude. Yeah. That's a ridiculous take.
David Persons, the question I have is, did Pete Rose gambling affect the outcome of his play? If it did, then he needs to be banned forever. But if it didn't, then he should be in. He was the manager of the Reds.
Like
that we know, he went while he was managing from the dugout, he was making bets. There's no question. It had impacts on the outcome of the game. And most of the times he bet on I could be wrong. I don't think there ever was an instance where they had evidence he bet against them. He always bet for the Reds to win. So, I don't know. Giggity. The guy over here really asking who the Black Sox are? Are you really asking who the Black Sox are? Maybe this is the problem with baseball.
Yeah.
I think people have lost touch with Major League Baseball. It's no longer America's pastime. It's not. Again, I'm a Cubs season ticket holder. I love baseball. I love everything about baseball. I love watching the game. I hope Rob Manfred trips and falls because I don't want pitch clocks anymore. I don't want limited throws over to first base, even though it really helps the Cubs because they routinely steal bases, right? I'm much more the guy who says, get me 6 innings, 3 earned or less, and you're a hero. I want what happens on the field to matter. But if you're a degenerate off the field, I think that should matter. When did
being a good human stop mattering?
Dude.
Damn.
You're not even kidding. It's wild. I already read that one. Sorry about that. I should be careful. Oh, Lopes fan Gabe.
This should be good.
Isn't that exactly what everyone who wants him in is saying? Yeah, we don't care. He gambled. If you need your pound of flesh, strip his managing career numbers. since he gambled while a manager. I mean, I guess.
But this is the Michigan thing. Going back and ripping the championship doesn't fix anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're okay, cool. You know, take away his managerial accomplishments, and that makes us feel bad. Like, no, dude, there's a reason that it's a lifetime ban, bro. Like, we shouldn't be, let me put it this way. We should not be sitting here spending 45 minutes talking about the great gambler, Pete Rose. What we should be talking about is something else in sports. But instead, we're sitting here talking about this dude because we wanted to be nice, because we wanted to throw dude in. We should be talking. In fact, we shouldn't be talking about this at all. What it should be is, hey, dude passed away. We're never talking about him again. That's what it should be.
I just don't think that he's not.
It should be a cautionary
Is it a lifetime ban or is it not? Is it life in prison with a chance for parole? No, it was life without parole. He was banned. Mike Smith. People are saying that they think he should be in, and it's clear they think that that is over gambling issue. Not sure what else some can say. There's nothing to talk about with Pete Rose related to how he swung a bat or what he did as a player.
Right.
He is one of the best players of all time. It can't stop there, though. When you say Pete Rose, oh, that was a guy that was banned for life for gambling. And I agree. What do we say to Jonte Porter in the NBA?
Oh, that's right. You don't care about Jonte Porter because he wasn't a Hall of Fame potential candidate.
Yeah, he was a scrub. Right? Like,
what if tomorrow it came out that, you know, your favorite athlete who was Hall of Fame caliber bet on all these games and that's what determined his career? Like, come on, dude. This is ridiculous.
Yep. The Buffalo Hunter, that's the problem. No one knows that the gambling affected the outcome on the field. Therefore, the integrity of the game, games were compromised, can't be in the Hall of Fame. I think you automatically know it impacted the outcome of games because he was doing everything to make sure he won, I would assume, the bets and the game. But what decisions would have been made differently if he hadn't gambled on that game? If he didn't have ducats on that game?
Yeah, isn't that the exact premise? Like, the premise is, hey, dude, you can't gamble on the sport you're involved in because that ruins the integrity of the game. And whether you did or you didn't, you still gambled. Like, that's the whole point.
Yeah. Brandon Butler. The only issue I have is there are some shady things that happened off the field in the NFL and are in truth. But each hall is different. NFL is only on the field stuff. MLB seems to count everything. They do. They do. Wasikowskinator. I'm not a native Chicago person, so I only know the year of the scandal. Pete Rose is a different situation. That's like asking people outside of Detroit who the Russian Five are. The Russian Five. I don't know. Maybe I'm too on one side of it. Listen, I'm here for the conversation, but nobody has a legitimate reason is why he should be in the Hall of Fame.
What changed? Like,
nothing changed. Sergeant Morhew, hello. Nobody is forcing the show to be talking about this topic as long as it has been talked about. You're in charge of the show. Well, but we're just having a conversation. That's all. Pete Rose should rot in baseball hell for eternity. Ooh. Okie Light. Is betting on your team worse than cheating, i.e. steroids? Not saying to put him in, just saying that the steroid era shouldn't get in either. I think that's a fascinating conversation.
That's a very fair question.
I think, though, and I know I said this in the comment section have said it, baseball doesn't survive without Mark McGwire and his androstenedione. But it's also important to note, was he cowering in back alleys and behind dumpsters buying androstenedione? No. Do you guys know where he kept his stuff, Mark McGwire? How about on the shelf in his locker at Busch Stadium? In plain sight. To me, Mark McGwire saved the game of baseball, which made Barry Bonds jealous. Which is why Barry went on to do what he was doing. Now, having said that, Was there anybody better at hitting a baseball than Barry Bonds? Not in my lifetime.
No.
I saw Barry Bonds do some things that I've never seen anybody else do. And I think Barry should be in. I think truly Barry Bonds is not in the Hall of Fame because the Baseball Writers of America think he's an asshole. I don't even think they care about the steroid use. Allegedly.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you saw Barry, that guy, and I kid you not, you could throw Barry Bonds a ball the size of a BB, and he'd barrel that thing up. Barry Bonds is truly the single greatest offensive player I have ever seen.
Yeah, special talent.
Ever. And before he became a 1,000-pound fat-headed monster, the guy was also a pretty special center fielder as well. The guy could frickin' play. So, and I agree. We need a decision on steroid era guys. Because if guys like A-Rod, Clemens, you have to assume everybody was doing it.
Yes.
Right? Andy Pettit.
Yes.
Is Andy Pettit a Hall of Famer? I think he probably is. Did Mariano Rivera use? I don't know. But I have to assume on some level because everybody was doing it.
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa simply didn't put up enough good numbers to get in. Mark McGwire? Yeah. I should be able to say your name. Barry Bonds? Yes. Scott Verizor? No. Right? Like, I should be able to say a name. Bagwell, Biggio, in. Without a question. You're in. Greg Maddux, Hall of Famer. Kurt Schilling, what a dick, but a Hall of Famer. Pete Rose? No, he gambled on baseball. Period.
I think it's that easy.
I think it's that easy.
It's that difficult, dude.
I agree. All right, Delaric, a member of the show for 26 months.
You didn't cheat, you didn't make bets on the comment section, so we'll play the sound,
Yeah.
Okay. Sal Capone, a member of the show for 7 months.
Stay hard.
Good to see you, boys. Barry was a Hall of Famer before the roids. He was in Pittsburgh.
But
Barry
was also both ways.
Barry was also an a-hole before. The problem with Barry Bonds is he's just not a nice guy. That's the problem with Barry Bonds. He treated people so poorly. There's no way to give him the benefit of the doubt.
Yep.
That's the problem. He is clearly one of the best players of his generation. Ken Griffey Jr. or Barry Bonds, toss-up. Barry, because he played longer and stayed healthier. But Kenny, the running, the hitting, the throwing, that's
Super
how
likable.
good Barry is. Yeah. Personality. That's how good. That's how good Barry Bonds was.
Yeah.
I think he was better than Ken Griffey Jr., and I saw them both, and I think Barry was better. Barry, you feared Barry Bonds.
100%, dude.
You did not fear.
You guys remember the home run chase, right? Like, dudes were walking him when you still had to throw the pitches.
Go look at the numbers. He was walked repeatedly with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
Do you understand that cat was intentional? I believe there was a year where he was intentionally walked more than he struck out. Let that sink in. Like Barry Bonds. And I'm not advocating for Barry because I do think
2004, he was intentionally walked 120 times.
It's wild.
Which was more than twice the number of his strikeouts that season.
Bro, let that sink in.
Buddy, okay. Also, just for perspective here, dude probably had, I can pull up the stat, 400 at-bats that year, 500 at-bats probably. 41 strikeouts, that's it? Are you serious? That's it? Like, come on, man.
I mean, it's incredible. Anyway, I don't mean to beat a dead horse. Let me read some more of your comments because in 8 minutes here on the Monty Show presented by the Advocates, at theadvocates.com. We got to get to this Donald Trump saving sports.
And it's very powerful.
I think there's a fascinating conversation to be had around that. Delaric for $5. Were the steroids they used illegal or against the rules at the time? If not, they should be in. Performance-enhancing drugs.
PEDs.
And the issue was they were against the law in this country in a lot of cases. And you start to understand. You go back to the Tony La Russa Oakland days with Canseco and McGuire and the Bash Brothers, and you start like we've had Dave Stewart on our shows many times talking about the locker room environment on those teams. And you start to hear about, hey, this trainer and that trainer, and what did Conti give to Bonds and Greg Anderson and Bonds, and Greg Anderson's in jail because he doesn't want to talk about Bonds. And
yeah,
you start to understand it wasn't necessarily the rules of baseball. They were committing, allegedly, some of these players were committing federal offenses by taking, do you guys understand that some of these guys were taking horse tranquilizers? And they were like, the stuff that they were taking.
Do you even lift?
Look at, go research Ken Caminiti. And then ask me if it's against the rules of baseball. Right? Like you go research Lenny Dykstra. And then ask me if it's against the rules of baseball. Like you look at Darryl Strawberry and Dwight Gooden. They weren't using steroids. They were using cocaine. That's against the law in this country.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
I don't see cocaine anywhere in the baseball
Well,
rule
Monty,
book.
did it affect the outcome of the game or not? And if not, then he's in the Hall of Fame. It's that simple.
Hey, Monty.
And he will every single time.
Like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, and to me, it's a very personal thing. I'm a huge baseball fan. It is, if you watch the video we did when we played golf at Wrigley Field, it's on the channel. Go see it with PXG. I told a story about Kodak Photo Day. That's one of the single greatest memories I have of Chicago Cub first baseman Leon Durham putting his arm around me.
Yeah.
Like, baseball is intimate to me. Baseball is life-changing to me. The idea that a guy like Pete Rose would be in the Hall of Fame, it should turn your stomach. It just is.
Yeah.
Man. Steve Stepanek, should they take Lawrence Taylor out of the Hall of Fame for his cocaine use? I don't think they should. I'm not saying to keep Darryl Strawberry or Dwight Gooden out because of theirs. Pete Rose broke the only rule that's on the wall of every clubhouse: no gambling. That's why I'm not sitting here indicting guys. Listen, if you were trying to beat Barry Bonds and you weren't using something, weren't you at a competitive disadvantage?
Yes.
Have you guys ever seen, back in my early days in sports media, again, another Mrs. Monty story, we would take rented camera equipment from our local cable station and go down to the Big A in Anaheim and do interviews. And do you understand how far Jose Canseco used to hit baseballs? Do you understand watching Mark McGwire leaning on the dugout railing? One of my favorite things to do is at Dodger Stadium in particular, it's a thing. Go lean on the dugout railing and watch the guys take batting practice. Watching Mark McGwire put baseballs into the parking lot at Dodger Stadium over the left field pavilion will change your perspective. You watch a guy like Albert Pujols, steroids be damned. Did he, didn't he? I don't know. You go watch a guy like Albert Pujols put balls like it's a flip of the wrist into Big Mac land at the new Busch Stadium.
Yeah, over the train tracks in Houston and Brad Lidge,
You look at a guy like Bryce Harper, it is hard to describe how difficult it is to do what they do. It's not hard to describe how simple the rule is. Don't bet on baseball.
Yeah.
Don't gamble, period. Because again, to wrap this up, I'll put it this way. Nobody ever has done or will ever do what Barry Bonds did. And I don't mean hit the ball over the wall. There will never be another performer. Shohei, I've never seen it since, and I doubt in my life. And
the
I probably
intimidation, dude.
I probably have 50 years left on this earth. You'll never see anybody put a baseball on the center of that barrel the way that Barry Lamar Bonds did. The ability, do you guys understand that Barry Bonds, if he took a pitch, it was a ball? It wasn't a matter, was it a ball or a strike? Barry didn't swing, that's a ball. And umpires gave him the call. If it was on the black, it was off the black because Barry didn't swing, so it must have been a ball. Go ask guys like Greg Maddux about pitching inside to Barry Bonds. Go ask the very best pitchers ever. Go on YouTube and just put in Barry Bonds stories. And you go listen to the pitchers who would be like, bro, I don't know how he did that. And I don't care if it was 100 miles an hour or 90 miles an hour or 80 miles an hour. The ball hit the middle of Barry Bonds' bat. Nobody has ever done it since, and I don't think I'll ever see it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'll ever see it. I don't. Cougar Tracks. Ask Lance Armstrong about using drugs. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. Yeah, I kind of did. Okay. Give me back the trophies.
Right.
Legitimately. And it cost him a nut. Probably. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where
It is a personal premise conversation.
it is. It is. And Mike Smith, and I understand that baseball is not commonplace. I understand that we in baseball are not. Those of us that are emotionally invested in Major League Baseball will always have a different fight.
Yeah.
We will always have a different fight.
Yeah.
All right. Hour number 2 of the Monty Show, presented by our friends at Rula.com/Monty. Again, if you're just tuning in, our newest partner for this week right now, Rula.com/Monty. New partnership. We need you to go and check them out, you guys. Please do it. Go to Rula.com/Monty. Get your mental health in check. If you're somebody, and I know a lot of people on this show who've struggled with mental health, because I DM with a lot of people on this show. If you've struggled with mental health, but you thought, man, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. In most cases, for people who have insurance, it's $15. And they're going to tell you ahead of time how much it'll cost you out of pocket. And in most cases, again, it's $15. And what I love about it is that you're going to get served. You are going to be connected with a professional who is going to help you in the way you need to be helped very quickly on a video link. Most times within 24 to 48 hours, you will have a therapy session on video. Don't even have to leave your house, and it's only $15. Knock it down. Rula.com/Monty. Please go support our newest partner. It means a lot to us. It's how we pay our bills.
Link is in the description.
Rula.com/Monty. You see it on your screen. The link is in the description. Hook it up right now. All right, let's get into, again, I want to recap the breaking news on the show. Jayson Tatum, done. Tore his right Achilles tendon last night at the Garden in New York. You saw it. It was a horrible injury. The Knicks went on to dominate the rest of the game. They now lead the defending champion Boston Celtics 3-1. They face elimination tomorrow night in Boston. So Jayson Tatum, right Achilles tendon tear. He already had surgery. Are the Celtics done? I think it's a fascinating question, as we've been talking about for the last 45 minutes or so. Pete Rose, removed from the banned list, if you will, along with Shoeless Joe Jackson and others. Presumably now, ESPN is reporting that, in fact, Pete Rose and the others are eligible for enshrinement in the Baseball Hall of Fame. But it is a complete 180-degree turn by MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred, and it is a huge, huge story. Also a big story. We talked about this a little bit yesterday with college football, and should Donald Trump get involved in the financial structure and a framework of operation going forward for college sports? Well, now we find out today that it's not just college sports. Some enterprise reporting, I first saw it on MSNBC, and now pretty much everybody has picked up with it. Reports say that Donald Trump, who is currently in the Middle East right now, having high-level meetings with Middle Eastern dignitaries and politicians and leaders of countries, when he meets with the Saudis, he will drop an ultimatum on the Saudis saying, get the LIV PGA Tour merger done or else. And who knows what that or else means. Now, you'll remember Donald Trump during the campaign said that he would need 15 minutes in a room and this thing would be done. Well, he's had that opportunity on multiple times and it hasn't been done. And apparently his next step now, according to reports, is that Donald Trump will drop an ultimatum on the Saudi, and will that be the Saudi government? Will that be the PIF, which is the investment arm of the Saudi royal family? We'll see how that all plays out. But Jake, do you think Donald Trump should be spending time on a trip to the Middle East talking about the LIV Golf PGA Tour merger?
Yeah, I think that, I don't think he should be spending time on it just to do that. I think that, the president obviously has an immense list of responsibilities and action items, things that he's working on and doing, of course. And I think that, the PI or the LIV, PGA Tour situation, I think is unique unto itself. And it's a little bit different than like the college football stuff we've been talking about this week. And, every situation is kind of a little bit different. I do think that, the president, and I hadn't really thought about it this way, but I do think that, without getting too deep into it, like, politics and things like that globally can be influenced by how much you allow someone to invest in your sports domestically. And there's a lot of trades that can be done and deals can be made and a lot of leverage to be played. So I understand the attractiveness to it if you're the president. At the same time, though, I would be remiss if I didn't say I think there are more important issues than the LIV PGA merger or, the college football or college athletics figuring it out. I mean, the list is endless of things that the president has to work on, but you kind of get my point here is that sports should not be at the top of the list. And no, I don't think that you should be going to the Middle East, let's say, just to work on sports. Now, obviously, it's, the president would never go just to work on sports, but I just don't think it should be something where, the most powerful people in our government should be spending loads of time on this. And that's really where I kind of come down on it. I would love to see the best players in the world all golfing on the same tour again. I think the game needs it.
We need it more than just 4 times a year.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to it this week at Quail Hollow. It's going to be great. But yeah, I think that the PGA Tour needs it and we as golf fans need it. But again, I have to say there's a big part of me that feels like, yeah, maybe this shouldn't be on the top of the priority list based on what we're dealing with.
I think when you look at Donald Trump, throw out what you believe about his politics, whatever. He's in position to have leveraging conversations with really influential and important people. And those people happen to be involved in this case, LIV Golf. It is the Saudi royal family. It is the PIF. It is all of the people involved in dividing the PGA Tour and LIV Golf.
Mm-hmm.
With LIV Golf, you formed the LIV Golf Tour. You dumped a bunch of money on people, and those people choose to leave the PGA Tour. It's been incredibly difficult to try and unwind that clock. And I don't know that Donald Trump's going to be able to do it. but he certainly has levers to pull, and who knows what that is. I mean, we've seen him leverage tariffs. We've seen him leverage policy to create a desired effect.
Right.
Will he pull those levers to save professional golf in this country? I don't know. I think he's certainly going to try. I think Donald Trump is in a very interesting position in that a lot of his golf resorts that he owns and courses that he owns host LIV Golf events.
Yeah, so there's definitely that natural connection. And I do think Donald Trump has always been, in one form or fashion, has always been involved in the sports community over the course of his life. I didn't take politics out of it. Pre-politics, Donald Trump, all that. Like, you just look at his life, and he's always had some type of connection to it. So I think that, if you said to me, hey, well, what's the best case scenario? Well, I think the best case scenario is a solution. Like, if we just look at golf, a solution that merges everything together. And based on what he's done so far in this presidency, in this term, I think, he's all about these trade deals and leveraging folks and trying to get stuff done. So I can easily see it's not hard to connect the dots of, hey, you're talking about sports, but what we're really talking about is this or that or the other, and it's just going through sports.
How important is it, though? Because I think one of the conversations around this LIV Golf PGA Tour thing is that, does golf need saving? I mean, not as much as I need saving from this cough.
Right.
Does golf need saving? No, it does not. Does golf need unification and healing? Absolutely. I think when you start to hear these stories about how much emotion, how much pain and angst guys like Tiger Woods, guys like Rory McIlroy, certainly.
Yeah.
These big players, how much regret allegedly a guy like Brooks Koepka has for leaving the PGA Tour, but has no path back to the PGA. There's a cat named Wesley Bryan, who was a professional golfer on the PGA Tour. Not a high-level guy. He's got one tour win, but he's one of the biggest influencers on YouTube Golf. And he was playing in regular events on the PGA Tour. And then he went down to Miami and did an influencer tournament at the LIV Golf Miami event, and he got banned for a year from the PGA Tour. That can't happen. And that's the stuff that needs to get fixed. I would love nothing more than seeing guys like Bryson. Bryson DeChambeau is good for golf.
Yeah.
It's awfully difficult to argue that Bryson DeChambeau versus Rory McIlroy is not good for golf.
Yeah, and that's been an ongoing saga. I mean, that's been something that we as golf fans have been paying attention to. So that's why I say, I don't think that this conversation around, whether it's the Big 12 or whether it's, golf or, whatever you want to look at, I think there are opportunities to get small wins in that conversation, bringing all those guys back from LIV and kind of erasing LIV and getting a back into unison. Hey, we've got the PGA Tour domestically, we've got the DP Tour worldwide, and all of it kind of works together real well. That's what everybody wants. The question is, what's going to have to take place to get that to happen?
That's the question.
And I think that's why I think the president is interested in figuring this out. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want this to turn into some big to do and some big fuss. The last thing we need is...
What does that mean, a big to do?
I don't know. I mean, it's the unintended consequences, of you're going to the Middle East, and one of the things you want to talk about is LIV Golf. I don't know what the unintended consequences.
So you feel like there could be a negative.
Yeah, I mean, I think that anytime you're in negotiations, anytime that you're the president, you want to try to positively impact something domestically by going overseas and talking to those people that control it. There's always potential blowback. There's always things that you maybe didn't think about.
Okay, I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
And I think that, when you look at and again, I'm being careful because I don't want to get into some deep ass political conversation, but when you look at other things going on in our country, the economy, all those major topics we always bring up in politics, I still think there's a lot of work to be done there. And so all I'm saying is, hey, cool. If you're going to the Middle East and sports is one of the line items, I'm good with that.
Well, I think there's no question he's going to the Middle East to talk about OPEC. He's going to the Middle East to talk about oil, right? Different show. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
If you're in the room with the Saudis and you have an opportunity to fix LIV Golf and the PGA Tour, I hope he takes it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. If it's an action item and if it's like OPEC oil deal, LIV Golf, okay, that's probably not the right way to go about it.
No.
Right? So let's get your thoughts on it. Do you guys care about LIV Golf versus the PGA Tour? Again, on this show, we talk about the things we're most passionate about, right? I'm absolutely I want to see Scottie Scheffler against Rory McIlroy and Brooks Koepka. I want the guys on LIV Golf to be relevant again. Because I got to tell you, guys like Bubba Watson, Sergio Garcia, those dudes are completely invisible. They are. And if you go look at the Masters, it's guys like Tyrrell Hatton, but his name doesn't register with you. Played really well at Augusta, but you don't even know who the hell that guy is. It's a guy like a Patrick Reed. Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka are probably the two biggest names.
Yeah.
We need those guys going head-to-head with JT, with Scotty, with Rory. We need that week in and week out. We need to stop worrying about, well, is Bryson going to play on the Ryder Cup? Well, why the hell wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He is arguably one of the top 3 players in the world. I mean, if I had to rank them, I'd put right now today, Rory, Scotty, probably Bryson. Those are the top 3 players in the world, in my opinion.
And obviously for the Ryder Cup, you're going to take Rory out of there. So your choices are more limited.
I just mean in the world.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if you look at the Ryder Cup, the Euros have far more talent in LIV Golf than the Americans do.
Yeah.
Because Koepka and DeChambeau are probably the only two that you're like, yeah, those guys would be on the Ryder Cup every year.
Yeah.
But you have a ton of dudes on LIV Golf Europe. I don't think the European side of this conversation gives a rat's ass if they're getting paid by the Saudis.
Yeah.
I don't. But let's make something very clear. If Donald Trump finds a way to fix LIV Golf and PGA Tour on this trip, dude, that would be, I don't even know, that would be massive for sports. That would be,
yeah.
Because at this point it's hard to argue it's an international incident.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. All right, let's see. Want to talk about Doge investment money, how you are wasting millions on a trip to just talk about golf is ridiculous. He's not. Okay. Again, politics aside, Donald Trump is not there to talk about LIV Golf. You want to talk about airplanes for free and oil? Okay, cool. Get upset about stuff? Okay, cool. Donald Trump is not going to the Middle East to fix LIV Golf and the PGA Tour. That's not the purpose of his trip.
But I agree.
And if I've got to explain that, you're probably not paying attention.
And that's what, sidebar to this conversation. That's what makes it difficult to have any type of conversation, that kind of blends the political and sports things together, right? Because there's no question that this is a blending of the two. And I'm just not interested in having some fiery ass conversation about, the merits of dude's politics. All I'm saying is that if you think about it, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand that if you're going to the Middle East to talk about oil and you're in that room and you have the conversation about LIV, you're telling me that based on Donald Trump's deals and what he's done so far, who we know him to be as a businessman, if you will, you're telling me that those don't blend together and there's not a kind of a, this.
Go ask the people at the Royal Bank of Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Who are the title sponsors of multiple significant events on the PGA Tour, who have said, if you don't put this back together, we're going to pull out.
Yeah. Which,
so,
again, is good for nobody.
When you look at the viewership, golf is at an all-time high popularity-wise. The numbers are really good. I mean, I just can't emphasize enough at some point, and I agree with you. At some point, we got to stop doing I'm a Republican and you're a Democrat, or you're a Democrat, you suck. We're talking about golf and the president of the United States. You want to talk about an oil collapse? You want to talk about inflation? Okay, different show. Let's just talk about the president of the United States is going to be in the same room with the guys who make decisions for the PIF and LIV Golf. He can fix that. Now, does he have a great track record as a deal maker? He doesn't. He doesn't. But should he just not try? Oh, he should try, no doubt.
Yeah.
Backwoods, sexy Mike Smith. Go ahead. I don't want to deprive you of your one-liner. What are you guys talking about? I don't want to know. Mike also said too much tax dollars wasted on golf activities. Well,
bro, that may be true.
Homie golfs, Donnie golfs a ton.
Yeah.
I mean,
but hold on. But in fairness, and I can't believe I'm in this position.
Please go ahead and defend Donald Trump.
I have to say, the absolute wastefulness of presidents is not.
It's appalling,
dude. And it's not unique to Donnie. Donnie may be one of the more egregious defenders. I don't disagree with that. But presidents just burning through taxpayer dollars is
for
not
jet
new.
Fuel.
Yeah,
go ahead and check out that jet fuel bill, bud.
Yeah, like come
Good
on,
Lord.
Dude.
Fat Jesus. How's your dad, Fat Jesus? Okay, let's move on. Trump can't fix everything. Have him check out your cough.
Think that's
Can fix everything. Have him check out your cough, dudes. So last night, I historically sleep really well. In general, my sleep app says I get 6 hours and 8 minutes of sleep almost every single night. Last night, I lay down a little later than usual, 10 o'clock. After the baby making stuff, we just go. I fall asleep. I wake up at 10:45 in a raging coughing fit.
Brutal.
Has not happened in a month. I'm 5 weeks past, and I shouldn't say that. I'm less than 5 weeks past. I'm probably 4.5 weeks past. Because I got back from Chicago. I'm like 4 weeks past pneumonia.
Right.
When I went to the doctor, got antibiotics, took them, it's over. That was probably 2.5 weeks ago. They're saying that pneumonia cough can take 6 weeks from when the antibiotics killed the infection.
Dude.
It was brutal. Coughing fit. I got out of bed because my wife is training for this triathlon this weekend. Yesterday morning, she goes from a long Peloton ride to a long treadmill run to a short Peloton ride. Hops in the shower, goes to work, comes home, meal preps. We hang out together. We go to bed, and then I have a coughing fit. And I'm like, Jesus, she's not going to sleep a wink. I need to go. So I went and slept on my couch for like 45 minutes. Couldn't go to sleep for 45 minutes. Flip on the boob tube, watch Sports Center, fell right asleep. Right after the awkward Anthony Edwards interview. He's literally wearing a Gatorade towel over his head with headphones on top of the towel and ignoring the questions and talking to people on the court. And then like shouting guys out, hey, and he's dabbing a dude up and he's like, I'm sorry, I missed your question. What? Like, it was ridiculous. That ends. They're talking. I fall asleep. I wake up and it's 1:11. Turn off the TV, go back upstairs, slept straight through to 4:59. No more coughing. But I coughed for like 30 minutes, couldn't go to sleep. And then
weird,
today I get up and I feel fine. And then at like 11, I started coughing again. It's brutal, you guys. It is brutal. Monty is anti-Trump. Trump will not help with the cough. I'm not anti-Trump. I'm pro-America. I am pro-America. America. Does LIV Golf have a female version like the LPGA? They're talking about doing that.
Yeah.
They're in development on it. I really do not know, but curious. They are in development on it. It's time for a chest x-ray, Monty. It's not time. I've already been through the process. I had full-blown pneumonia. When I got back from Chicago, I had full-blown pneumonia.
So much to the point that they didn't have to do an x-ray because you could hear it.
No, when the lady was horrified. I'm not even joking. I did a telehealth appointment. And I think, and that's the Rula thing today, you guys, seriously. Let me tell you my experience with telehealth. On my iPhone, University of Utah Health is my medical provider.
Yeah.
I get on there, I tell the lady, she's like, yeah, we're going to have to get you in for a chest x-ray. I can't make a diagnosis or prescribe you medication. There's an opening in 90 minutes. Go. Okay, cool. I go in. The lady doesn't even want to do a chest x-ray. She puts her stethoscope on my lungs. And she's like, yeah, man, you have full-blown pneumonia. She can hear it. And I was telling you guys, like I was laying in bed the night before and I heard like this crackling. I mean, it sounds like crack. It sounds like you're.
Yeah.
It's almost like a bad muffler is what it sounded like. And she was saying, yeah, that's pneumonia. Your lungs are filling up with fluid because you have an infection in your lungs. And that's the gurgling that you're hearing.
Wild.
Yeah. So she gave me not one, but 2 different antibiotics. A week later, knocked it out. It was gone. And I just can't get this cough out. It's brutal. But again, I want to shout out our newest sponsor on the show. Please get to Rula.com/Monty. The link is in the description here on YouTube below. If you're on Twitter, if you're on Facebook, if you're on Insta Snapface, please consider going to Rula.com/Monty. If you're listening on our audio podcast, Rula.com/Monty. You guys, get your mental health in check. There's no reason to run and hide from it. Especially as men, we tend to be proud and we're going to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. You don't have to do that. Monty, I can't afford it. Yes, you can. It's $15. Most cases, when you have health insurance, it's $15. And you are going to get connected with a therapist who's going to be able to meet with you over video link within days. 1 to 2 days, hours even we're talking about. You don't have to suffer in silence anymore. Be the best version of yourself. And if you're a dad, if you're a granddad, if you're a son, a brother, a father, take care of the people around you by starting to take care of yourself. Rula.com/Monty. Healthcare should not be, especially mental health care, you guys. Mental health care should not be something that's out of reach or embarrassing. Rula.com changes that for you. Rula.com/Monty. A couple more comments because then we got to get to the NFL. Fat Jesus, when big-time golfers cry about money, I don't care if they aren't relevant again. Well, there is that.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, bro.
Oil, airplanes, Kushner, payoffs, golf, it's all relative. Well, relatives. I think that's what you meant. Giggity, Donnie making deals with the guy who orders people's heads to be cut off.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of people are not fans of LIV Golf. Monty, presidents have wasted tax dollars on golf trips. Oh, every one of them.
Yeah.
Every one of them. However, only one I can remember that also made money on Secret Service and other entities paying. Well, different show. Different show. I mean, what the Donald Trump, I am not going to make some. I think we should be able to, as adults, have conversations that are well kept. And we just aren't able to do that when it comes to politics in this country right now. We're not able to do it. Big Daddy Magic, if you and Mrs. Monty have a baby, can you name it Victor, please? Hell no. We're going to name it Cooper for the real face of the NBA. ESPN is a great sleeping pill. Well, it's funny you bring that up because what's interesting to me, did you guys see the ESPN direct-to-consumer announcement today?
Now I know that we've never talked about this, right? Like we never said 6 months ago, 8 months ago that ESPN was going DTC. And here we are once again talking about something we talked about 6 months ago that finally rolled out.
And I think a lot of people are unhappy with it, and I'm not really sure why. I would agree. What did you say to me today? What is the one thing you don't like, Jake?
Yet another option on the ledger. It is another streaming cost to throw on the fire of life is too expensive.
ESPN announced today that they will go direct to consumer and it will be branded ESPN. ESPN Unlimited plans priced at $29.99 a month. I told you $30 a month. Select plan at $11.99. ESPN is also going to give you a $299 annual option to save you 2 months worth. ESPN Plus will remain a standalone pay-per-view service. And the best part about this for ESPN, and this is what I like about it, you get everything. They don't piecemeal it. You get every big game. You get every Sports Center, Scott Van Pelt, Pat McAfee show. You get it all. You get Up. All the live sporting events. Everything that you turn to ESPN for is going to be available to you in a digital platform without having to have a satellite or a cable subscription. The only subscription you will need. And whatever you think about ESPN, they have all the biggest games. NHL, MLB, NBA, college football, NFL, Monday Night Football. You name it, they've got it. It's all going to be available to you in the app. Jake, I think perfect is probably not the word I would use, but it's as close to perfection in sports broadcasting as we have right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think on its own, yes. But I think that the real nuts and bolts of the conversation is, while all of that is true, ESPN typically does have the best offering in terms of games and everything. Maybe people don't want to watch the game that's on ESPN, right? Maybe because the thing is, like, we all know this. Every single year, the NFL releases how much it's going to cost to watch every single NFL game, right? And the number went up to like $1,500 this year, or whatever. People are all pissed off about it. But my point is that I agree that the value they're placing on this, like $29.99 a month, is not an egregious cost. That's clearly in alignment. But my problem is that when we talk about, hey, like, they've got all the biggest games, they've got all this, they've got all that. That's true, but it's also at the same time not entirely true, right? Obviously, you know, NBC and Fox and all these other, you know, broadcasting outlets are going to have games that ESPN won't have. So the proposition as a consumer, in my opinion, is much more like, hey, you know, if you have, like, take me, for example, right? My setup is I have YouTube TV. I would have to look at how much that is, but it's around, I think it's like $80, maybe around $100, something like that. So I already have ESPN. I was already an ESPN Plus, like, subscriber or whatever for like $10 a month or whatever it is. So I'm already getting all the ESPN Plus content. I'm already getting all the biggest games through YouTube TV. So my main point here is that this is clearly pointed at the person who doesn't have all these other things. And ESPN is saying, hey, if you're not interested, or maybe you just don't want to pay for YouTube TV and the Cock and Fox Sports and all this other stuff, here's an offering that we're giving you that's our most complete offering of everything under the sun at ESPN. And for that reason, I love this. This is ESPN saying, hey, here's everything, and here's the all-in price monthly at $30 a month. That's great. So I like it. But I still don't think it fixes this proposition as a consumer where you have yet another line item on your monthly budget. And that's what's tough to get around.
That's the one I struggle with. I that really hit home when you were saying that this morning about it's just another subscription. You know, and it really bothers me. We talked about this yesterday. I hate the way we watch TV now.
Let me ask you this, because I think it's really fascinating just with our lives, because this is obviously a key difference for us from you guys, right? Like, we do this show, so like all the subscriptions and stuff to watch sports and, like, you know, all the content we have to digest is all, you know,
it's all a tax
write-off, right? So all of those things contributed to my taxes this year, which is cool. But if I didn't do a show, I can honestly say I wouldn't be paying for all the things that I pay for with these subscriptions.
No, I would not.
I probably would only be, honestly, I mean, I would probably keep YouTube TV just because I can still get, like, Chicago PD through that, and, you know, some of the odds and ends that I like with that. But I wouldn't have a lot of the other stuff. And I was thinking about it Like, if I didn't do a show and I was just a normal consumer, would I be all over this? Or would I feel like this is just another option? Because the offering itself is good.
I think I'd be all over it. I think ESPN's a vital part of our sports ecosystem. You can't watch major sports on really of any variety without ESPN and ABC. I mean, it's the biggest.
Yeah, I mean, as a college
games.
football fan, it's where you live, basically.
The college football playoff on its own. You can't get the college football playoff without ESPN and ABC, right? So they're offering bundles with Disney and Hulu, and I mean, they're doing this exactly the way they should be doing it. I think it's a no-brainer. And to your point, if I didn't do this show and if it wasn't a tax write-off for me, I think I would probably have YouTube TV. I think I would get Max for free through Amex.
Right.
I think we get Paramount Plus for free through Amazon. And you get Amazon Prime Video for free through Amazon Prime. So that's what I'd be watching.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have Netflix. I really don't. I like Fox Sports. For those of you who don't know, Fox Sports is doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But with what leverage? I don't know either. I could not tell you outside of the NFL. I'm not paying Fox to watch NASCAR.
What about baseball?
Do they have baseball?
Well, playoff baseball.
I guess. Isn't that what I get through
YouTube TV?
I don't think I would do it. I don't think I would do it.
And the other part of it too, I think, if you consider Fox and all these other platforms, like ESPN also just added Rich Eisen's show, which everyone was all over when you talk about like talking head shows.
Does Rich Eisen move the needle?
No, but I don't think it's just about moving the needle anymore for ESPN. I think what ESPN wants is they're thinking bigger than that now. They're not just thinking, hey, what brings the most listeners? They're trying to get to a place where you have to come to ESPN to get the content you want. Like whether it's Pat or Rich or whoever you want to point to, like you're talking about adding these talking heads and, turning ESPN into sort of this juggernaut of whether you're an older guy and you want the Rich Eisen experience. Cause I actually don't mind Rich. I don't listen to him a lot. But when
he's not interesting to me, he's boring. It's Dan Patrick. Dan's gotten old, so he's boring. It's Rich Eisen. I'm not a Roku subscriber,
right? But now you don't have to be,
so I don't see it. Well, and maybe that means it'll be in that time of day is very difficult for me. I'm either playing golf or I'm in sales meetings,
right?
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, listen. So I think I don't know. I'm not in love with this ESPN offering the way I thought I would be, since we've talked about it so much on the show. I do think it's a good offering. I do think it's a good idea by ESPN. I do think they're going to make a lot of money on it and it's going to be successful. But I have to say, the main thing that I use ESPN for outside of just like during the football season and stuff is mostly just for golf in the early rounds. I mean, that's ESPN Plus for me is either I'm watching, I'm watching, an oddball event that I'm interested in, or I'm watching golf. That's basically it. I don't do, I don't watch a ton of like UFC and all that. So I just think if you're someone who doesn't have, YouTube TV or maybe is reluctant to pay the price.
TV.
Yeah. If you're reluctant to pay the $90 a month or whatever, and you can cut your budget and upgrade, if you will, to ESPN's offering, great. But I don't know that this is just some unbelievable changing the game offering. As a consumer, we've seen this a million freaking times already. This is not new.
I think it's game changing because you have to have it. You have to have it.
Okay, but when you say you have to have it, only if you don't have other stuff already.
Right. But when you look at how much money, like YouTube TV keeps getting more and more expensive.
Right.
Like how many times have I let Netflix go? I let these services go pretty much on the regular.
Right.
Because for a guy like me that's in sports and I it's what I care about, I'm already paying the Sunday ticket. I'm already paying the NBA ticket. I'm already paying home plate or around the bases or whatever the hell is. Extra innings on MLB, right? That's what I'm watching. And I'm watching things like Mobland now. I'm watching The Cock, Chicago PD, the Law and Orders, right? So I know what I want to watch, and I am a guy of habit. It's everybody jokes with me, I eat oats every morning. You're goddamn right I do. I take my vitamins when I wake up and when I go to bed. You're goddamn right I do. I watch Chicago PD pretty much every Friday or Saturday night. You're right, I do. I'm a creature of habit. So for me, it just makes a lot of sense. It just makes a lot of sense. I think it's a home run. If you're a sports fan, particularly if you are a college or NFL football fan, you have to have this. It's not optional. It is not optional. Big Blue Horses, I wonder if or even when the federal government will start getting involved. It's streaming free for all right now. They love to regulate. Well,
wow.
But I think we need an all-inclusive. The problem is they tried that and it got torched. So we need one thing where we can get everything for this amount of money every month. I don't know how you do that. I don't know. Mike Smith, let pay services drop a few months, get it again for a month. That's a lot of times what I do.
Yeah.
It's a lot of times what I do. Gabriel, and by the way, what's going to happen with the NBA on Prime? Too much changing in the streaming landscape. I think NBC and ESPN will dominate NBA coverage.
Yeah.
I do. I think Amazon Prime has to go all in on something sports. Because, like, you look at LIV Golf, great example, on FS1, does not register with me. Does not register with me. I don't know. You guys, I think we're all very much creatures of habit. You know. I used to have YouTube TV. You don't have YouTube TV anymore. I love it. Some of the things it does piss me off. It really does.
Mm-hmm.
I do not love the idea that, okay. You want to know how irrelevant Patrick Reed is? Patrick Reed is on SportsCenter right now, a graphic of him wearing a PXG hat. ESPN won't put his LIV Golf hat. I don't think he's been a PXG guy for
years. It's been a while. I mean, let me look.
How irrelevant is Patrick Reed right now? I mean, Brooks, Koepka, Jordan Spieth, Patrick Reed, and Shane Lowry all plus 235 to make the cut.
Yeah, PXG parted ways with him when he joined LIV in 2022.
Yeah. Yet, there they are. That's crazy. Johnny Gonzalez, YouTube TV has NBC, Fox, ESPN all in one for $80. Truth.
So see, this is my question, right? And this is where I think the conversation gets really interesting if you're ESPN. So it really depends on what age you are and what you already have as to how valuable this offering truly is, in my opinion. Because if you have YouTube TV already and you've been paying that, then you're already going to get the biggest games. And you're already unless you're just a diehard and you got to see like every single game, then okay, maybe this package becomes more valuable. But I think if you're talking to the 20-something that doesn't have YouTube TV and loves to watch football and only has a phone, doesn't have the 50-inch TV on their wall, then this package is incredibly valuable, right? I mean, this is a home run. If you're the 20-something that's obsessed with sports, this is great. It's a great entry point into the TV market, if you will. So that's what I'm saying. I do think it's very heavily age dependent, and also to your point, like your habits and how you use your TV, because that's the other thing. I mean, depending on what kind of TV you have, that'll one of my TVs like sorts the apps by how much you use them now, which never used to be a thing. I always had to go digging for whatever I wanted to use. So TVs are getting updates and things are moving along. And so I just think it depends how old you are and where you're kind of at with it. But I'm not excited to add yet another cost. I'm just not. It's just not something that that's real palatable for me.
All right, let's get a couple more comments in here. Yes, Damian Fowler, ESPN and MLB did split up. So many streaming options for a budget. Crackle, Tubi, Pluto, Fossum, Roku channel, Freevee, all free. Yeah.
Which is another conversation.
Yeah. Do you go free or do you pay?
Yeah.
Basher, you're only getting one NFL game a week with ESPN, but I would agree with that. You're getting Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but the college football slate
is
robust.
Yeah. Pluto TV has all the NFL Network talk shows, so if that's in your lane. Tubi is growing and doing so needs to make money. They do. NFL on Tubi has already raised the number of adverts on Tubi. Well, there is something to be said about.
See, and that's the trade-off, right? If you're going to go free, then you're going to see a bunch of ads.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's an interesting discussion, and I think it's definitely one we should keep our eyes on. There is no doubt about that. You should also keep your eyes on PrizePicks tonight because I'm struggling with SGA. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, download the YouTube app. Use the promo code Monty. Open up a new PrizePicks account. You deposit $5. They'll give you 50 more instantly.
Download the PrizePicks app.
The price, what did I say?
YouTube.
Did I really? Download the PrizePicks app.
Yeah.
Download the PrizePicks app.
Dude.
Download the PrizePicks app. PrizePicks app. PrizePicks app.
Yeah.
Download the PrizePicks app. Open a new account using the promo code Monty. You deposit $5, so I'll give you 50 more. I'm struggling tonight. SGA's points, like the last two games, I just have he's been so hit or miss.
This series is tied 2-2.
So he's got to have a big night.
Yeah.
I'm worried about a blowout in this game. OKC is favored by 10. That's a huge number.
Which could hurt him getting to the point.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you could definitely take the Goblins. I mean, I think 25.5 is pretty reasonable.
Yeah, but then they don't pay you as much.
Yeah, but just take, yeah.
Right. I'm reading that.
Wins is what you need, dude. Wins.
That's what you need.
That's what you need. So,
Nuggets Thunder tonight in OKC. OKC's 10.5 now.
Got to tell you, one of the lines
at
I really
Paycom,
like.
10.5.
Bro, one of the lines I really like for SGA is 2-pointers attempted at 16.5. In Denver, he was struggling a little bit with that. 14 attempts, 16 attempts. But if you go back to game one where they really dominated, he had 20 2-pointers attempted, and he's much more of a mid-range guy than a 3-pointer guy. So I don't mind that at all. But
I'm just worried because a couple of these games have gotten out of pocket. I mean, they won game 2, 149-106.
Got out of pocket.
I'm a little worried about that. They lose game 3, 113-104, and it wasn't that close. And then they win 92-87 in game 4.
Yeah.
I want to take his points and rebounds at 37.5, but I just don't feel like that's a number that I'm comfortable taking with in this series.
Yeah, I mean, maybe get off SGA. I'm looking at Jokic's numbers.
48.5, 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Less.
I think you got to go less.
Yeah, I like that number a lot.
I think you have to go less.
Yeah, I like that number a lot.
I really like Chet. 1 3-pointer made.
Yeah. I really like Miles Turner for 24 points, rebounds, and assists more.
I would agree with that.
30 last game. He had the game before that, he had 18, but the prior 3 games before that, he was all over the number.
There's a bunch of numbers I like. His points, rebounds, and assists at 24.
Yeah.
He's hit that 4 out of the last 5. I like that a lot. His point number at 15 is a little, but you can goblin that at 11.5. This is Cleveland. They're not a tough team in the middle. I kind of like that. Block shots. He's got a goblin at 2.5. The personal foul one always kicks me in the nuts. So I can't go personal fouls.
I don't know. I went, You're talking about Miles Turner still?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went more than 24 points, rebounds, and assists. My lineup is Jokic less than 50.5 points, rebounds, assists, Turner more than 24, and SGA more than 25.5 on a goblin.
All right. Let's get swaggy with it. Chet Holmgren, 1 3-pointer made. Man, I hate that. I'm going to take that one out. Nikola Jokic, 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists less. Evan Mobley, 2 3-pointers more. And then do we go anything Donnie Ball?
Nah, I'm staying away from him, dude. I think it's too volatile.
Tyrese Halliburton?
Yeah. I mean, what do his numbers look like?
6.5 3-pointers attempted. I think you got to go less because he's only done that once in this series.
And they're back in Indiana. Is that right? Do I have that
Correct.
Right? Or
no, Cleveland.
They're in Cleveland.
Cleveland. But the funny thing is, Cleveland's 8.5 points in this game.
Damn.
I know. I'm aware.
How?
I don't know.
That should be like 5.
I think I'm going to go. I think I'm
home.
going to go with Halliburton for more than 2.5 free throws.
Oh, I like that a lot. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
so then this is what I'm at. Nikola Jokic, 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists left.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley, 1.5 3-pointers made more.
Right.
And Tyrese Halliburton, 2.5 free throws. So I need him to make 3 free throws. 20 to win 70.
Nice. Okay.
On that one.
Nice.
Do I dare go with the Chicago Cubs?
No, don't be an idiot. Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
Don't be an idiot.
Well, we do have to feed my degenerate soul. We do have Stars and Jets tonight, but I think I probably stay away from that. Let me at least look at the Cubs. Can I at least look at the Cubs?
Look, but I mean, don't touch, like, come on.
You know you're going to lose, Chubbs.
Yeah, I mean, who are we kidding, dude? Come on.
Cubs and Miami. Seiya Sasuke. Red hot. Nico Horner, Dansby Swanson. What about, let's look at Dansby Swanson. Dansby's been a long way. How about a double out of Dansby? He hasn't had a double in him in like weeks.
Okay, so, go total bases instead. Because he's got some nice total bases numbers.
I don't have total bases on him.
Yeah, just click on him.
They don't offer it to me.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm looking at total bases.
Hits, runs, RBIs, hitter fantasy score, strikeouts, home runs.
Now, I see it above that. That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't have it. Oh, total bases is way up there.
Yeah. Yeah, I like 3.5 as a demon. That's a nice number. Or you could just go half.
Yeah.
You've swindled me into this now.
He's so hot, Dansby, lately. He's been so hot. Michael Bush has not been. You guys. Bush. Okay, what about PCA?
Yeah.
What about PCA?
PCA hits, runs, RBIs. Goblin is half. 3.5 on a demon. Oh, dude, take half. This is your number. Half, one double on a demon. I'm taking that all day.
I'm going half a hit, run, and RBI on PCA. I think you got to go.
And then where is hits allowed?
I'm such a loser.
Valente Beloso.
How about Kyle Tucker?
Okay, or Kyle Tucker,
Kyle Tucker hasn't had a double. He just needs one double. Hits, runs, and RBIs. We're going to go all easy. We're going to go all goblins on the Cubs because I'm fucking traumatized on the Cubs, man.
Yeah.
I'm seriously like, you guys laugh and joke. My soul hurts when the Cubs lose.
Okay, so Dansby
isn't Skeens pitching tonight?
Maybe, I don't know.
Is Paul Skeens pitching tonight?
Dansby for more than 3.5 total bases, PCA for one double, and Valente Beloso pitching against the Cubs for more than 4.5 hits allowed on a goblin. 20 to win 280. Okay. I'm down.
I don't hate that. Hitter strikeouts. Oof. Francisco Lindor.
Hey, Lindor.
I'm just gonna tell you now. This does not feel great to me tonight. No, it is. It's Mitch Keller tonight.
Yeah, Mitch.
Combined strikeouts, 11 pitcher strikeouts. God, I don't know if I can do that. Will somebody tell me not to do it, please?
Don't do it. Please. Please don't do it.
All right. Hits allowed. Mitch Keller, 3.5 more. Okay, done. Peter Carl Armstrong, 1 hit runner RBI. Kyle Tucker, 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs. Mitch Keller, 3.5 hits allowed.
There you go.
All right.
Great.
There you go. Okay, there you go. I feel better. Do you guys root against me on this? I get all your DMs. I totally get it. Take the Pacers and the points tonight. Have to.
Yeah.
Have to take the Pacers and the points.
Yeah, that series is over tonight.
Is the line on Pete Rose getting in the Hall of Fame a demon or a demon or a goblin? Got to be a demon. Gabriel, I play fantasy baseball, have Nico Horner, and currently he's the number 1 second baseman in the entire league. It's my guys. That's my guy. Sorry, was being sarcastic, Brandon Pontiff. What did you say? The NBA isn't afraid to do what they think is best for business. No, they're not.
No, we've seen that play out, haven't we?
Yeah. J. Trey, will this new ESPN service include ESPN Plus games? No, it will not. ESPN Plus will remain its own separate product from the ESPN app. The majority of college basketball games. I think you're going to see a lot of college basketball, but only what's on the ESPN family of networks and not on ESPN Plus. Big Pontiff, I don't think it's that corrupt, Mike. Wait, hang on. What did he say is corrupt? Now I'm just behind. Dallas owners paid NBA for pick to save Nico. Okay. Jake really wanted to get into this today.
Yeah.
Are we still on the bandwagon?
Infowars.com.
The NBA draft lottery was shocking. But was it rigged?
It's hard to say it's not, dude. It is really difficult.
Well, you picked it pick by pick.
Yeah.
And as stupid as you are, if you can do it...
Dude, 100%, bro.
If you know...
So-called experts.
Yeah, I mean, Jake not that intelligent. You know, and he did it pick by pick. No, I'm kidding. You had it pick by pick, which...
Yeah, the top 4 I had in order without knowing, which tells you, hey, it's pretty clear what we're doing here. And I have to say, I think it's totally fair game, to talk about this. Like, so let me get this right. The allegation is, the story people are going with, is the NBA told Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks to trade Luka to the Lakers because the NBA needed a storyline because it was slow. And the trade, air quotes, trade, allegedly, was you do that, we'll get you Cooper Flag to replace Buddy.
That
was the alleged, that's what's being
allegedly.
Alleged. And I have to say, it's hysterical to me that whether you're a Jazz fan or anyone else playing the victimhood card, everyone's like, oh, well, we got to tank and we got to get to the number 1 overall pick. Okay, well, if you really think that the NBA is rigged, then why would you want to tank for the number 1 overall pick you have absolutely no chance of getting? Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, do I think it's rigged? I think it's strong to say it's rigged. Do I think that the NBA pushes narratives and storylines and may take action in any given circumstance? Yeah, I do. I think the NBA is a business. I think they know damn well that their TV ratings need to continue to grow, not shrink. And what better way to put, gasoline on an already burning fire than to have the draft lottery be full of drama? I mean, is that not what the draft is supposed to be?
I think that's what the draft is supposed to be. But if it just feels paranoid. It feels like all the Utah Jazz fans saying, oh, we got screwed again. Well, go hold your owner accountable. Right? You guys tried to lose games allegedly, and you got screwed again.
Yeah, you tried to do it the cheap way, dude.
Is that the owner's fault, or is it your fault for continuing to believe that they have a plan of some sort, any kind? I think it's your fault. Right? I look at, is the draft lottery rigged? Here's the unpopular opinion. If it's not, it should be. I don't want Cooper Flagg in San Antonio. The guy's going to be irrelevant there. I'd rather have him in Charlotte. At least that's down the road from Duke. I don't want him in San Antonio.
Well, what do you think about Dallas?
I think it's a phenomenal story that he's in Dallas. I think it is exactly what this league needed. That kid, I'm telling you guys, he's the face of the NBA. Did you guys see how he avoided his workout at the combine today? He refused to get on the court and work out after Dallas said they're going to draft him. Oh, wait, no, that didn't happen. He got his ass out on the court and actually worked out and shot and did agility drills and standing jump and dominated. Looked really good today. He knows he's the number one pick and he's still on the court. He's the golden child. He's the golden child. And all these other dudes that don't want to throw at the combine or want to wait for their pro day. No, this cat's the real dude because he's already done it against NBA talent. He made the select team. He dominated the pre-Olympic runs to the point where they almost put him on the Olympic team.
I'm for real.
He's the face of the NBA.
I'm for real.
He is going to be beloved because you know what he's not going to do? They're not going to call him Hookah Flag. He's not going to get fat. I have no idea what his mom looks like, but everybody's not going to be talking about how hot Hookah Doncic's mom is.
Or that she texted him that he sucks.
Or that he doesn't play defense.
Or that he lives on the second floor.
To me, that cat had to be in a major market. I consider Dallas a major market.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sports town with great sports fans. San Antonio, with all due respect, is a drop in the bucket compared to Dallas.
Yeah, and as Lucas showed us, Dallas has great food too, you know?
I think, again, and I know it's not what everybody wants to hear. If the NBA draft lottery is not fixed, it should be.
Stay hard.
Because the exact right outcome happened. Cooper Flagg ain't going to Utah. Cooper Flagg ain't going to San Antonio. Cooper Flagg ain't going to Charlotte. He's going to Dallas. San Antonio, oh, you got screwed. 2 picks in the top 14, including number 2.
Man, really getting screwed there, you know?
You gave the process the 3rd pick, right? And what's the good news? Well, what do we have in the NBA playoffs? The New York Knicks, the Boston Celtics, the Lakers are a story. Funny. Lakers get blown out of the playoffs. All of a sudden, Giannis wants to change scenery. Dude, if it's not fixed, it should be. And I know small market people hate the way I say it. Small markets don't pay the bills.
Yeah.
The Knicks, Bulls, Lakers, they pay the Clippers don't pay the bill, the Lakers do.
Facts.
The Brooklyn Nets don't pay the bills, the New York Knicks do.
Facts.
Why is it such a tragedy what happened to Jayson Tatum? It's one of the brightest stars in the NBA. Coming into his prime, tore his Achilles, done. Oh, bummer. Knicks win. Can't lose for winning. Right?
Yeah, I mean that's facts, dude.
It's a really, if there's going to be a terrible injury to a young stud in this league, the Knicks or the Lakers better be the benefactors. And I'm going to say the New York Knicks were the benefactors of Jayson Tatum's terrible torn Achilles tendon, which if you didn't hear, he already had surgery.
Which I think is great.
It is. But
I don't know. I just don't think it should be this, you know, this indictment on the league that they're controlling narratives and pushing things. I mean, do you really think that leagues aren't doing this behind the scenes? Do you really think that, you know, it's the whole NFL is scripted thing? You know, like it's the whole, you know, we've just seen this a million times over, and I feel like, you know, I got to be honest, I don't want to watch like small market rando team. I don't. Like, I'm here for Dame as a Blazer and the buzzer beater mentality. I'm here for that. That's cool. But I'm not there because it's Portland. I'm there because it's Dame. You know, I'm here for, you know, LaMelo Ball and the announcer just absolutely pissing himself when they hit a game winner. I'm here for that. That's funny. But I'm not a Charlotte Hornets fan, dude. Like, This is very easy to understand. And I have to say, speaking on things that are exciting in the league, this rumor mill that Kevin Durant and the Heat are potentially interested in each other, I think would be great for the league. Dude's never really been, you know, dude hasn't played on that side of the country yet. So I just think whether it's Giannis,
that'd be great for the league.
Yeah, because I think if Giannis goes to the Lakers, KD goes and plays in the East, in South Beach. Then you've got Cooper Flag as a Maverick. And you have these other teams building. Like, I just think that the league is in a good spot. Now you've got balance. You have good quality balance at that point. And I think that's what the league is after. For too long, the West has been way too deep and the East has been way too light. And I think that's what it is. So I thought it was laughable. And I still think it's laughable that Jazz fan is all pissed off at the league and saying we got screwed again. And, every beat writer in Salt Lake is just, like, I love this whole thing. Ryan Smith last night doesn't tweet a damn thing. Oh, gets on this morning, tweets about, oh man, I went out and ran into a Jazz fan.
I needed some time.
And then every beat writer and their mom is knee padding this guy for being genuine. Like, bro, dude, what did you think he was going to say?
Genuinely?
Like, come on, dude.
He is genuine.
Like, my God.
Genuinely bad at owning NBA teams.
Like,
is what he is.
And so far, hockey teams.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
Yeah. The Monty Show is always presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. You guys, we're less than 2 weeks away from Memorial Day. Do you understand the deadliest 100 days on the calendar is Memorial Day to Labor Day? If you find yourself in an accident, if you're out riding your bike, if you get into a car accident, or if you get into an accident with a big rig, be ready to go. Hope for the best, plan for the worst, theadvocates.com. You can chat with an injury attorney live online, and you don't have to pay anything. You're never reaching into your pocket, right? You don't pay the advocates unless and until they win your case at theadvocates.com. All right, in the comments section, do you guys feel like the draft lottery was fixed? Backwoods Mike Smith, backwoods sexy.
Yeah.
Mountain mama. Owners are not that stupid. If they tried to boycott the NBA as a collective, would just take away their draft picks. They probably would. Big Blue Horses, there was a 1% chance for Dallas, San Antonio, Philly to be in the 1, 2, 3 spot. Was it rigged? No. Was it highly suspicious given other events and statistical surrounding the draft? Yes. How about being a Bulls fan? Bo Hika, dude. Bo Hika.
Anita Dick and me.
100%,
As a Bulls fan, do you guys understand the Bulls and the Mavs had the exact same record? Do you know how they decided who would get the 14th spot? A coin flip. The Mavs won the coin flip to be in the 14th spot. Wound up with the number 1 pick in the draft. What do I have as a Bulls fan?
Hiscock.
That's what I got. That's all I got. Because I ain't got nothing else, man. Big Daddy Magic.
Well, man, how could Cooper Flag not go to San Antonio and be with Victor? And oh my God, it's outrageous. Is that what he said? I don't know if that's what he said.
First of all, my algorithm's off the chain. This is what's on my algorithm.
Bro.
Like, I look at golf videos all day. Why am I getting cleave? Why am I getting cleave? Let me see if I can find some Big Daddy Magic greatness.
Oh God.
Hey, player. Your name is no longer player. And the only reason I was calling you that is for you to be set up to say, I ain't no player. I have a smoke show wife.
Truth.
Man, how could I not
We
think
don't
of
have
that?
chemistry like that yet, but hey, listen up, wise man. You said that Victor going to the Spurs would be too obvious, and the NBA wouldn't want that. But the fix was in. They had to give Dallas the number 1 pick. So they gave the Spurs the number 2 pick, Dylan Harper, and the 14th pick, and then Champagne and Calvin Johnson for Giannis under the Dumbo.
Bro, dude.
And then me and Giannis under the Dumbo would be called the freaking out for Victor Bros.
I mean, how much weed can one person do?
And then he's sending you guys, and then he sends me videos like this. Where is it? Is this it?
Hey, player! This day can't get any worse. Fire department. I said I don't know nothing about no meth, but if you need to know anything about weed, I'm your guy.
The lie detector test determined that was a lie.
The stupid dude had a weed meth lab and everything.
Did you call the raccoon?
And I was straight up honest with him. I said, listen, you check my apartment, there's weed. It's probably over the limit. But, player, please, man. They send the paramedics to deal with this shit.
Well, it is meth, my guy.
Yeah, I mean, where's Rocket the raccoon, dude?
What was that?
But what is this, a live report from the street, dude?
No, it was a drug stop. He was so
Live on the scene with Big Daddy Magic.
and all that stuff. Yeah.
Can I get a Victor's the way?
And if that wasn't enough,
If this fucking day couldn't be any worse, Victor gets screwed out of the first pick, and my weed dealer gets busted. Ooh, it's not a good day to be a pimp.
and then he's drinking.
Shit.
That means go.
We get it. We get
Do you
it.
guys see what I deal with? Do you guys see what I deal with? This is the magic of Big Daddy Magic. You know, Raccoon was over the limit under arrest.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude, how is he not calling Rocket the raccoon?
that's what I'm saying.
Like, come on, bro.
Like-
Like, what are we doing?
Where is my? There he is. There's Rocket. What's
Yeah,
up,
look at how
Rocket?
committed he is, dude. He knows about this.
This is the kind of stuff I get in my DMs. And now I got other dude. I got this guy Rodney sending me a shirtless picture of him talking about Big Daddy. I can't play it because there's so many F-bombs in it. Put your shirts back on and stop talking to me about Big Daddy Magic in my DMs. You know. Gabriel, now I see why the NBA didn't give the first pick to the Spurs.
Yeah, dude.
Can you imagine how insufferable Big Daddy Magic would have been if the Spurs would have got Cooper Flag? Oh, my God. My God. I thought BDM was getting tased with the sound effects. If this day couldn't get any worse, they busted my weed dealer. But it's not that your weed dealer got popped for possession or distro. It's that Cooper Flag didn't wind up in San Antonio. That's the first thing he references.
That's what fucking ticks me the fuck off.
What kind of life does this guy live?
And the fact that he's self-admitting to having weed in his apartment or whatever.
Look, it's probably over the limit, but you don't need to know anything about that. You know. Raccoon failed the field sobriety test, attacked the officer.
Yeah, you know?
Right? Like, I mean, it is. I miss Aaron's videos too. I miss Aaron's videos. Something terrible. Big Daddy Magic, the Greek freak will go to San Antonio and be the vice president of the Victor fan club.
Ah, okay.
Victor's the way.
The Pope, you got Jerry Reinsdorf as a reward. Nope. Sorry, I will go say 10 Hail Dickas as penance. Hail Dicka! Hail Dicka! Dicka, hail Dicka! Like, do you understand how terrible my life is as a Chicago sports fan? That you don't. You don't. I think it was better for the Spurs to get the second pick because Harper or VJ would be a better pairing with Wemby. I tried to tell Big Daddy Tragic that. He wasn't here for it. He was not here for it. Flag would have been good, but the other two, I think, will be a better choice. We'll see what they do. We'll see what they do. I am somebody that buys into it.
Yeah.
I'm somebody that buys into it. I'm asking you to buy into our newest partner for this week, Rula.com. You guys, affordable mental health care does not have to be expensive. It does not have to be out of reach. And when you go to Rula.com/Monty, there's a link in the description right here on YouTube. If you're on Twitter, if you're listening on the audio podcast, Rula.com/Monty. If you have insurance, in most cases, you can get quick, effective therapy that works for what you need. That's the thing I think sometimes when we talk about mental health, we try to medicate it. We try to put everybody into a box. And I cannot tell you how many friends of mine have gone to therapy and been like, oh man, they had no idea what my need was. They wanted to talk to me about, right? The best thing is when you go to Rula.com/Monty, you're going to see it's a screen that says find an in-network therapist. Rula patients typically pay $15 per session using insurance. They verify out-of-pocket costs before your first session, right? No surprises, no crazy bills. And you meet with a therapist via live video as soon as tomorrow.
Which I think is just crucial.
Yes, you need, when you're battling mental health issues, and is that depression? Is that anxiety? Maybe you can't control the spiraling. You know, I was talking to a guy the other day who was talking to me about how he knows he needs to get out of bed at 6:30 in the morning to go to the gym. But pretty soon it's 6:35, 6:45. Now it's 7:15, 7:30. Can't get out of bed because I'm thinking about, I don't want to be sore. I don't want to do this. Okay, well, let me get up and go get some breakfast. But you got to take a shot. Like, he can't focus and he starts to spiral. You got to get help with that. You can get that at Rula.com/Monty. And it's $15 in most cases. That's the best part. You don't have to be embarrassed. You don't have to feel like, I've got the bootstraps. Don't do that. Let's talk about it. Let's be open about it. Let's get the treatment and the therapy that we need so we can all live the best version of our lives. Because no matter where you are, if you're struggling at work, if you're struggling to have relationships, if you're struggling, maybe you and your girlfriend are having arguments and you just don't feel like you can get on top of the issues in your relationship, Rula.com/Monty. It's $15. You can talk to somebody as soon as tomorrow in a comfortable environment where you're not sitting in a waiting room and you're not feeling intimidated by chairs in an office. Rula.com/Monty. Therapy the way you want it and the way you need it. And it's $15. You can afford it. Rula.com/Monty. Couple more comments. Whose birthday is it? Jeremiah Champion says, it's my birthday, y'all.
Happy birthday, bro. Happy birthday. Hey, by the way, how many pages did the paper wind up being? This dude right here is in our members only group over the weekend talking about how he's got to write a 14-page paper and he's got like 6 hours to do it.
Oh my
and he's
God.
not allowed to use ChatGPT.
Dude.
Did the paper wind up getting done?
Dude. That's crazy. I'll tell you a little peek inside my existence. I'm in a program to help me learn a side hustle.
Yeah.
I'm back in school. I'm trying to build a base of knowledge for the side hustle I'm doing. It's not easy to go back to school, and I have so much respect. You want to talk about why maybe you need to talk to somebody? Do you ever feel overwhelmed? Like you have all this stuff in your life, and we all want more, right? Like, why is Jeremiah Champion writing a paper? Because you want more.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to build a side hustle? Because you want more. But man, it feels like a lot. I'm already getting up at 5 a.m.
Yep.
Like I'm doing all this stuff, and I've got. It's just it. Sometimes it does feel like the weight of the world. And I'll tell you, you have no idea how important it is that when you're doing something like Jeremiah's doing, where you're writing a 14-page paper and you've got 6 hours to do it. That's called pressure. Mike Smith says, happy birthday, hot stuff. That's right. Jay Brandon says, happy birthday. Back to school with Monty Dangerfield. Bro, it's real.
Dude, it's real.
It's real. It is real. Monty Dangerfield, back to school. Thank you. You guys, great minds don't usually think alike. That's why you guys do. So great minds don't. That's why you.
Okay. Sorry if you're offended by that.
Hail Dicka. Hail Dicka, full of grace, that fans are with you. Blessed are thou amongst the coaches.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Blessed was the fruit of your loins, our only Super Bowl. Dicka, pray for us Bears fans, coach. In our hour of embeddedness to your huge cock. Probably too much.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Well, I got carried away. One step too far, Coach Ditka. God, I miss Mike Ditka doing. Bros, I have Ditka stories that would go on YouTube and look for Mike Ditka no pants interview. Bro.
The cock.
Bro. So I was not the only one having a hard time getting it turned in on time. So the whole class got an extension.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Extensions are what make the world go round when you're writing a paper.
Damn. Nice.
Dude, it's a lot when you guys, when you're going to school and you're working full time. Imagine being Jeremiah, like you're a school teacher.
Okay, so the whole class got the extension. So the question is, are you going to wait until you have 6 hours left till the extension expires to finish the paper, or are you going to take the pressure cooker off and get it done ASAP? See, that's the question.
Getting it done sooner than you absolutely have to.
We show up.
Right?
Are you?
I mean, I don't think so.
Okay, we're underway in Cleveland.
The land.
Have we gotten any PrizePicks help yet?
Yes, Miles Turner is already got 3 on board.
Okay.
Points, rebounds, and assists.
Why didn't I take Miles Turner? I hate. You know what the problem with PrizePicks is for me? I hate fucking Tyrese Halliburton.
Oh, he don't know nothing.
No,
He shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
It's not that I'm actually. That's not okay. I hate Tyrese Halliburton. Period. Like, I got to get punctuation in there with a comma before the fucking.
That's the untrained eye.
Kind of all flowed together off the tip of the tongue. Ho ho! That's what she said.
You are not.
Thank you. Tyrese Halliburton for 2.5 free throws made. He's got none. Evan Mobley, 2 3-pointers made. Evan Mobley, he's got none. My PrizePicks jackpot is on the line. And the thing is, I hate Tyrese Halliburton. This is why I don't play fantasy. I don't want to take any of the Green Bay Packers. I'm not taking the scumbag Kansas City Chiefs. And they're overrated. Oh, Kansas City barbecue. Shut up. You guys for barbecue, Kansas City, you're the Colorado Rockies of barbecue. Do you see Colorado Rockies already fired their man?
What is this fight on account? What is
fight
this?
on Natty? Oh God. Notre Dame is better than USC. Just deal with it. Is it true that the clown Dion had some choice words for the head coach of the Browns? I've not.
What
heard
are you
that.
talking about?
I've not heard that. I work 50 to 70 hours a week, and I've been working every time I get a break between teaching.
Damn,
dude, I'm telling you, right? You're underpaid. You're a teacher. You're underpaid. Right? Like you guys, you look at how hard all of us work. Except Brandon Butler, because he's the Pope, he gets an automatic payment.
Yeah.
And stuff. But you look at how hard we all work.
Yeah.
Like I'm working 16 hours a day. It's not easy, man. Like I was texting my wife earlier. I'm like, we need to get out of the house.
Yeah.
Let's go for a drive because after I get home tonight, let's go for a drive. I need to be outside for a minute. It is not easy. Brandon, the Pope, he's the pontiff.
Hey, Mr. Ditka guy.
Pope Ditka. Being a teacher is a calling and a purpose. Yes, what do you do? Are you a teacher too, Brandon? Everybody in the comments section, what do you do? What do you guys do? Aldo Nova, if that's what you say. I mean,
such as in like
and stuff. Going to school and working more than a full-time job is a challenge for sure. My students have been my personal cheerleaders, though. Oh, that's cool.
What grade do you teach again? Yeah, what grade do you teach?
Yeah. And fight on, I appreciate this. I do. For all my USC friends.
Fuck you.
This is how you know that fight on Natties is legit.
Yeah.
That's the exact right answer. And I appreciate you for it. Johnny Gonzalez, you work at a New Jersey airport. You're underpaid. Yes, you are, especially Newark.
Bro, did you guys hear? Hear about the Newark stuff? Bro, don't fly to Newark. Just telling you right
They're
now.
telling you at Newark not to fly to
Yeah.
Newark. Oh my God, the Chad Carter.
Bro. Is the water still turned on?
Yeah.
What?
You're a dick.
What?
A member
I'm
for
just,
16.
bringing up a positive thing.
Hi, hello, greetings and salutations.
Well, hello.
Michigan still sucks. Just doing my monthly quote member for X months post. Back to lurking. Be well off. I missed you during the Michigan talk. I do. I do counseling for university students. There you go. Big Pontiff gets bulletproof glass box for parades. He does. He does. My job is to click the like button. And from what I understand, you're a master of it.
Just saying.
Okay. Student learning music production. Wow.
Okay.
I like it. It's how I know Title IX and financial aid and stuff. There you go. I think I missed something. Apparently, Derek Carr retired. Yes, he did.
Yeah,
And he
just couldn't keep
saved
feeling
them.
the shoulder, bro.
He saved them a crap ton of
Did you guys see the video going around to his first day of retirement? How much of a G is this guy? Wake up, go out to the backyard, run around with your kids, like literally doing wind sprints with your kids. Then you go to the gym, then you come home and you watch film, and then you go to the golf course.
Derek Carr has a degenerative rotator cuff in his throwing shoulder, which is why he had to retire. Well, had to retire. They saved a ton of money on him. All right. What else do you guys do? I work for Chase as a bankruptcy claims analyst. Wow. Nice.
Oh, nice, dude.
I am a Chase customer. Please don't Google me. Roche, I'm a general contractor since a month. Started my first bathroom yesterday and did my third basement bid in a week. Let's go.
Nice, dude.
Let's go.
Dude, I'm telling you, home service businesses right now, cooking.
Huge.
Cooking.
Yelp.com, dude.
Yeah.
Get a Yelp account. Jeremiah Sullivan, Jeremiah Champion. So because of the extracurriculars I do, I work 7th all the way through 12th graders, but I officially teach 9th and 10th graders.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Okay.
You got to have patience that I never have.
Donnie is pissed. Dude, I think Donnie just took a really hard foul or something. What happened here?
Oh, leg running into. Donovan goes up, tries to dunk. Oh, he came up short on a dunk. Oh, he got rejected by the rim.
Oh, and took a bit of a fall.
Oof, no kidding. No kidding. Johnny Gonzalez, please don't Google me. I lose. Don't Google me.
Yeah. We're not gonna worry about that, dude.
I win. Google me.
I'm retired after having a bad injury resulting in disability status. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. I did not know that. Cam Harrison, good morning, guys. Shout out to Mo Bamba. Good morning, Cam Harrison.
Shout out to Mo Bamba.
Yeah, Donnie's playing well. We're watching this Cavs-Pacers game.
And I think this is the first game back where they've had Darius and
Mobley, Darius, and Donovan Mitchell are playing. DeAndre Hunter is also playing. So while your season's on the line, you probably want to figure that out. I need Evan Mobley to shoot a 3-pointer, God damn it, right now. Right now. Evan, you punk. This is why I love PrizePicks in the NBA. The NBA is not a team as much as it is you root for players.
Right.
Like I'm rooting for Donnie to have a good night.
He's just a hack.
I'm a Donovan Mitchell guy.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him to have a night. But Tyrese Halliburton, 2.5 made free throws. Get fouled, Tyrese. Where's your dad? I need him to get fouled.
Not under the basket, waiting to talk a bunch of junk.
Is Tyrese Halliburton not even in the game?
No, it's the end of the quarter here. Seconds are in the game right now.
3:43 to play. He's not even in the
It's
game.
only the first quarter, bro.
What a hack.
Yeah, dude.
He's played 5 minutes.
Yeah.
He's just a hack.
And he's not even in the game. He's played
This
5
man was
minutes.
a bona fide scrub.
What a lazy ass.
You're the weakest of the weak.
Yeah, I can't stand Tyrese Halliburton. And Donnie just going to the basket and throwing balls at the rim. Told you I should have taken Donovan. Whatever. It's fine. Damian Fowler, I'm a used oil recycler. I have a trailer that recycled oil for companies who don't want to pay $1 million. Wow, that's cool.
Oh, that's niche. That's cool, dude.
Very cool. Can Cavs pull this back, or will the Pacers close out tonight? You have to close out tonight. If the Pacers lose this game, they're in trouble. Okay, let's go, Tyrese.
There's your boy.
Jerk.
There's your boy.
Yeah, that 0 on your shirt matches how many free throws you've shot.
Loser.
Butthole. PrizePicks has turned me into not a nice man. Professor, it's technically Dr. Fat Jesus. You're a stud.
Bro, did he DM you about his new thing?
No.
Yeah. Buddy DMs me today. Dude has started a YouTube channel where he's doing a 12-episode series on like different adventures and stuff that he's going on. So,
Really?
Yeah. It's called, what is it called? The Summer of Steve or something like that.
Okay.
Let me see. Hang on.
Whatever happened to the Stever?
Yeah, Summer of Steve on the old YouTube machine.
Is that going to be like an SOS thing?
Yes, that's it. In fact, that is exactly what it is.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
I like it. Go check him out.
Yeah, he currently has, let's see. Wow, you got 29 subs already. He had 4 earlier. He's got
Nice
29
job,
subs. One guy, his description of the channel.
Obi Toppin sucks.
One guy, 12 weeks, endless adventures. So,
God damn it.
Yeah. Check him out.
8-0 run in the last 90 seconds, so the Pacers are going to call a timeout.
Donnie, please.
Obi Toppin.
You don't have Obi Toppin tonight, do you?
No, I have Halliburton, who I'd like to go to the basket and see him get fouled.
Wow, Dad. Wow.
Jerk face. Mike Smith. I'm not a Celtics fan, but I do root for Joe Mazzulla as a West Virginia alum.
Yeah.
Indeed. Load management, Monty.
Dude.
Ask your mom
massive
about
load
it.
management,
Oh,
dude.
You gotta get stroked. Honestly,
Fight
I
on.
start stroking guys.
ESPN talking heads have the sorry-ass Knicks winning it all. They'll win the East. They're not better than OKC. If Denver beats OKC, I can see the Knicks winning. OKC's better than the Knicks. Sergeant Green. Have the show playing on my phone, and my 8-year-old son is mockingly yelling, "Victor's the way."
Victor's the way. Victor's the way.
Is it anything like Idiot Abroad? That would be amazing. You guys, go support our guy, Fat Jesus.
Yeah, dude.
Go support our dude.
Fat Jesus, you should comment the link to your channel, bro.
Maury Albers, I love how we have both phases of Aaron, both smoking ayahuasca and coming out of the darkness retreat. That's what I'm saying. Did you guys see the exclusive we've had on the show? Here's a picture of Aaron Rodgers.
This is so good, dude.
Ingesting his ayahuasca.
Bro.
What other show is going to bring this to
And
you?
look at how dark the eyes are here. He's clearly in his element.
He's in a
clearly
cave.
Focused.
He's clearly in a dirt cave.
Yeah.
Like you see all the dirt and the rocks and stuff in the background. Well, those are cocaine rocks, but that's a different kind of rock.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Is Aaron Rodgers going to sign with the Steelers this week? This week or next week? Because when minicamp ends, don't you have to have Aaron Rodgers? Do you guys think Aaron Rodgers plays for the Steelers?
I mean,
I would think so.
Why wouldn't he?
No, he hasn't yet. Gabriel, thoughts on the NFL international game so far?
My guy does not want to talk about this.
I hate him. If we're just
This is fucking America.
I get it. That doesn't mean I don't hate them. I probably should go to Rula.com/Monty.
Yeah, seriously.
I hate him. I don't understand why. If anybody wants to explain to me,
game globally, we got to play games in Madrid.
Why?
You know, we got to be activating our CTE hits overseas.
Who are you, Ryan Smith, telling us we need hockey in Salt
He's a
Lake?
bum.
What are you doing
Yeah,
in
Madrid is an American football.
Madrid
town,
has
right?
incredible demand for the NFL.
I mean, who cares about Real Madrid, right?
Hey,
Like,
do you have
who cares about...
do you have stats on this? Qualtrics is working on it.
Dangerous misinformation.
I'm sure they are.
Come on.
I mean, it's cool. I'm glad the Bears are not on this graphic. Brazil, why are we playing in Sao Paulo? Dublin, London. How many trips are the frickin' Vikings going to make? You're essentially in Europe for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Right? And London with the Broncos and the Jets. London with the Rams and the Shags. Berlin. Now, Berlin is actually a really good NFL market, as is London. But Atlanta and Indianapolis, nah. I'm just glad the
Washington
Bears.
and Miami is a good one.
I'm glad the Bears and Ditka are not having to make this trip.
Yeah.
Caleb already crying in the cleavage.
Wouldn't want to have to paint his nails on the plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. Listen, hey Caleb, here's a piece of advice from me to you. No sacks in Europe, okay?
Yeah.
You tend to get some STDs off those things.
Buddy was buddy.
Oh my God, Donnie missed a. Oh, he dropped a guy on a 3 and he missed it. Cavs up 21-14, 2:30 to go in the quarter. Early in the game.
Still hasn't shot a 3.
Shut up, Jake. You're just a jerk.
Well, I win.
You're
Google
just
me.
being a jerk.
Because the funny thing is I'm terrible prize picks.
I'm not being a jerk. I just hope I don't lose alone. Who wants to be a lonely loser?
Yeah, no Monty's, dude.
Trust me.
I don't want to be the only raccoon in the cave, you know?
I'm a lonely loser. I have a lot of loneliness.
Yeah. Okay, no, seriously. Mobley's bringing it up. Does he get a shot off here?
Shoot.
Oh.
Shoot the 3.
Damn.
Evan.
Damn.
Evan. Now, Halliburton's got to head his team. Drive to the basket and get fouled. No, he pulled it out.
Oh,
and then he turned it over. Not only did you pull it out, you turned it over.
What an idiot.
Perhaps play a little game called Just a Tip.
Yeah, here's just a tip. Shoot the 3! Evan!
Bruh.
Okay.
Let's recap how bad we're losing in the NBA on PrizePicks tonight. Evan Mobley hasn't shot a 3. I need him to make 2.
Hot ass.
Tyrese Halliburton hasn't shot a free throw. I need him to make 3. And then I got Nikola Jokic for 50.5 points, rebounds, and assists less tonight. Donnie missing free throws.
Bricking free throws. Come on,
give,
guy.
Give the ball to Tyrese.
Jesus.
Don't let the white guy score. Give it to Tyrese. He's not in the game, and I give up.
F around and find out.
They took Halliburton out of the game. Quite literally, you can't shoot free throws when you're not in the game.
Loser.
Mobley on the perimeter, driving again, probably shooting a brick. And he did.
Okay, can we talk about the hoodie real quick? Just real quick before we get out of here. Can we talk about the hoodie real quick? Please? Now, I know that I'm dumb and stupid and I wear salmon and I don't know anything. But sure sounds like somebody's mea culpa on the importance of his little girlfriend and her role in his life. Sure sounds like we've kind of switched up here.
That your relationship with Jordan Hudson has been a headline over the last few months. And all of the specifics aside, because a lot has come out in the last couple of days, how do you think that impacts your ability to coach this football team, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's, really off to the side. It's a personal relationship, and she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football. I'm excited to be back in the coaches' meetings and getting ready for.
Okay, shut up. All
we're not making any changes.
Yeah, apparently
I'm not talking about that.
She doesn't have anything to do with UNC football. She doesn't have
we're focused on the Jets today.
She doesn't have anything to do. Listen to Stephen A. Smith's question.
That your relationship with Jordan Hudson has been a headline over the last few months. And all of the specifics aside, because a lot has come out in the last couple of days, how do you think that impacts your ability to coach this football team, if at all?
Yeah, I mean, that's, really off to the side. It's a personal relationship, and she doesn't have anything to do with UNC football.
We're really focused on Philadelphia right now.
So now I'm no rocket scientist here, Marty.
We're focused on the Jets today.
Right? But are you guys going to issue an apology to Pablo Torre, who broke the story that she wasn't welcome at UNC anymore?
We're on to Cincinnati.
And now all of a sudden she has nothing to do with North Carolina football. I'd also like to, and again, not to be a jerk, but Bill, did you guys see the Navy sweatshirt Bill Belichick's wearing in this interview?
That your relationship with Jordan Hudson has been a headline over the last few months.
Nice anchor,
and
bud. All of a sudden, he's not wearing torn sweatshirts anymore.
Wow. So wait, I thought that I thought that UNC said that homegirl was should be in there. Homegirl is, quote, welcome.
Homegirl.
Homegirl is, quote, welcome at UNC football facilities. That's what the verbiage was. See, she is welcome to the Carolina football facilities. Jordan will continue to manage all activities related to Coach Belichick's personal brand outside of his responsibilities to Carolina football and the university. Oh, so hold on. So wait, I thought that homegirl was just essential to Carolina football and Bill's operation. And all of a sudden, we did an interview randomly with Sports Center and God knows who, and you weren't wearing the Navy hoodie, and, she wasn't there wearing no pants, and everything is fine.
Hey, she did what she did.
Yeah, tell me again. Lie to my face again that this girl wasn't a problem, dude.
We did what we did.
Come on, bro.
Stay hard.
Jesus.
You're loving this.
Oh,
did they
dude.
foul Tyrese Halliburton? Did they foul him?
Yeah.
Is that yes?
Yes.
God bless you. Isaac Okoro fouled him. Oh my God.
Stay hard.
So wait,
oh my God.
what's
Wait,
the line?
whoa.
What's the line?
Whoa. Shh. Let him make it.
Okay, made them both. One more attempt.
I need him to make 3.
Okay, so here it is. You could win right here.
Come on, Tyrese, you prick.
Come on, brick it, dude. Let's go.
Why would you root against me?
Oh, come on.
Oh my God, you fucking asshole! What?
Buddy bricked it, dude.
What? How do you miss that?
Dude.
Oh my God, dude.
First 2 are pure as hell. Second one couldn't be further away.
How do you miss that? How do you miss that free throw?
Even the mixer is pissed.
You're a douche.
Obviously not.
You're such a... First of all, you jinxed it.
Doesn't make you feel responsible.
Yeah, you are responsible. How does he miss?
Where's the Italian?
Now you know why I hate Tyrese Halliburton.
I'd love it to be wider.
Anyway, can Monty do a pimp backhand slap to Jake for that?
This place is empty. Empty. The opposite of full.
Now listen.
Just like I predicted the lottery, I predicted Buddy would miss that free throw. What do you want me to say?
It's people like you. It's people like you.
Well said.
I can't. How does he miss? I can't
don't
believe
know,
he
dude.
missed that.
I don't know.
That's why I don't bet. Damian Fowler. Oh my God. That was hilarious. I fell off the couch. Jake, you're a legend. Yeah. I'm glad all you hyenas think that's funny.
My fucking ass.
Why couldn't the number be 1.5?
Because then I would have won. Fight On says the golf club looks like a cattle prod because I wish it was because there are many days.
like these days?
There are many days.
That's every day.
Oh my God. And that
You'll win on that, dude. He's gonna shoot. He'll make another free throw, bro.
You want to bet?
He will.
You want to double down? You want to cover me on that?
He will.
Don't go full Last of Us on Jake, Monty. I'm thinking about war.
That's out of the window.
Oh my God. Anyway. All right. Non-sports stories before we get out of here today. I want to remind you guys, and I know I've talked about it a lot, but we really could use your support on this one. I am so excited to have Rula.com on the show. Mental health is something we take very seriously. Please go to Rula.com/Monty. And just read their mission statement. They have an About Us tab, Rula.com/Monty. Our mission is to make mental health care work for everyone. And what I've been saying today about Rula.com, and we've talked about this on the show many times, mental health, it is everything. And in this country, at times, it's nothing because we don't want to talk about it in public because what people might think about us. We're worried about all of this stuff. We have anxiety issues. We have depression. We have a world where, frankly, it feels like there's a lot that we're carrying around.
Facts.
Give it to somebody else. Work through it. Rula.com/Monty. You can afford it. The typical Rula.com client pays $15 and they can have service for you. You can be connected with a therapist tomorrow by a video link. You don't have to go into an office, wait in a bunch of traffic to get into a waiting room, to sit through somebody else's session while you're sitting there wondering if you're in the right place. No. Get the help you need in your own time and space so that you can feel better. So it's easier to get out of bed. So it's easier to cope with the pressures of work. So it's easier to cope with the pressure maybe of that job search, of your relationships. Maybe you and your mom are having a tough time. Maybe you and your wife. Maybe your son is rooting against your success. Go to Rula.com/Monty. It's $15. Don't hide your mental health challenges. Let's talk about them openly. Don't run from mental health. Don't be embarrassed by it. You are certainly not alone, and you don't have to feel alone when you go to Rula.com/Monty. Get the care that you need, and it's $15. You can afford it. Go and do it. Rula.com/Monty. Let them know you heard about it on the Monty Show. Get into the description of this show on YouTube. If you're listening on podcast, there's also a link in the podcast, Rula.com/Monty, to get taken care of. All right. Non-sports stories of the day. Where do we start with this? What do you guys think of the Diddy trial?
One, do you care? Is it still on your radar? Like, is
maybe that's a great place to start.
You know, like, is it a thing?
Beyond the fact that, you know, I'm going to get hosed by Tyrese Halliburton.
Again.
Where do you guys come down on the Diddy trial? Because the details, you guys, bro, the details of the Diddy trial are...
See, and I think this is part of it. Like, everybody knows, like, just generally speaking, right? Not when we're not talking in specifics about the testimony and everything yet, but just generally, when you hear the Diddy trial, I feel like for me, what I instantly go to is, yeah, man, I don't know if I want to digest those heinous things today, because I have to say it is the worst of the worst, heinous, just awfulness. And part of it is that's why I'm not inherently just following this super closely. Like, I follow,
you're not.
Well, just like I'm following it, but I'm not like reading every ounce of testimony and like just way up in it. Like, I followed the Johnny Depp Amber Heard, you know, trial way closer than I'm following this Diddy thing, because at least with that was like more palatable to read and like digest. The Diddy stuff is just, it's just awful, bro. Like, just, I mean, uncomfortable to read. And I do a lot of reading for this show.
It's tough to read.
I mean, it is really tough to read and talk about, dude. So my question would be, where do we start? Where we should start is it on your radar? Are you paying attention to it? And is it fascinating to you, or are you kind of avoiding it?
And so this is the sketch of Diddy. He doesn't have that luxurious dark hair anymore. He's gray.
Right.
I thought one of the most fascinating pieces of testimony today was the incident that we all saw on the security tape in the hallway. Knocked her down and kicks her and then dragged her into a hotel room. And she testified that he did that because she tried to leave a freak off before it was over. And I'm not going to get into the details of what she described happened to her in these freak offs.
Yeah.
But it is R. Kelly type stuff. It is the most heinous kind of details that you can imagine. And she's saying that he hired male sex workers and she would pay them as much as $6,000 to $7,000. I mean, this is crazy to me. I'll be honest with you. I'm following it pretty closely. This guy now, to me, is in the Epstein category. This guy now, to me, is in the worst of the worst.
Right. I don't know. I mean, you correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure that we've really seen, again, allegedly, this level of, I don't even know what to call it. I mean, this level of activities. I mean, this is,
man,
the thing that's always astonished me about the allegations and the Diddy stuff is the scale of it. I mean, most of the time when we're talking about people doing stuff like this, it's usually like, hey, like, he did this in his office and it was locked and it was like one person.
The Matt Lauer situation.
Right. Like, it's usually
where he had a
that
door
type of
locking
thing.
button under his desk. Like, this feels like you're just a savage.
Yeah.
You don't have respect for other human beings. And I understand you're Diddy. Like, I've heard so many people talking about how, the music and the memories and, when he was puffy and well, go read the testimony of the people testifying against him. It is, the prosecution's putting their case on now.
Yeah.
It's terrible. So are you guys paying attention to it? Diddy.
Right.
Fight on non-sports stories. So we're talking about Colorado football. Okay. I see what you did there. Welcome to the Night Air. Bringing mental health and supporting hungry kids are just a couple of great initiatives you guys bring to light, and it's amazing.
Yeah,
I
get
am
involved
so
this week, bro.
I really hope that you guys will go and look and check out Rula.com/Monty. It helps the show immensely, but they're helping so many people. They're making mental health care affordable. And it's quality mental health care. The way you need it. It's not everybody who needs mental health care fits into one little box. No, they're connecting you with a provider who can help you on your specific issues. That's what, and it's $15. The average Rula.com/Monty client pays $15. Go check them out, Rula.com/Monty. I'd love to have them on the show in the long term. For us to do that, we need you guys to interact with them. We need you guys to book service. If you're struggling with mental health, Rula.com/Monty. Backwoods Mike, Sexy Mike Smith. Diddy is causing audio issues for Monty to cover up the details. Oh no. Are we having audio issues?
God.
Give me some freak off details. No. Go get on the internet. If you want to find them, you can go read about it. I will not do that here. Diddy and Epstein both have some women doing a bunch of the organization. True. I don't understand this powerful multi-gazillionaire male just committing these heinous crimes. And obviously money doesn't make you a good person. Right? But why do we always hear about these rich? How many? Matt Lauer, Weinstein, Epstein, Clinton, all of these guys that just Tiger Woods. Now, obviously, his actions were not criminal, but all of these highfalutin, rich, powerful men who just partake in this crazy stuff. I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Can you not have perspective? It's Shannon Sharp. It's Trevor Bauer. Can you not have perspective? When you are in business with people who have everything to gain and you have everything to lose, that's not business. That's called stupidity.
Right.
And I'm trying to figure out, why is it when we get into these situations, it's always rich and powerful, famous people doing the most heinous stuff? Now, social media, the news, they're celebrities. It's O.J. Simpson. I totally get it. Normal dude that does this stuff, totally get it. That happens. But why are these people who seemingly have everything in life you could want? Fame, talent, the ability to make more money, having a ton of money.
Yeah, I just think that access to a certain lifestyle exposes people.
Yeah.
I think I am a firm believer that the money is just a conduit. You know what I mean? Like because Diddy wouldn't have been able to allegedly do all of the stuff he's done in these freak offs or whatever, unless he had the career he had and, you know, did the music and did all the stuff he did and, you know, and got access to that level of influence.
Man. Yeah. We're seeing the extent that having money and a sense of invincibility will let someone take activities to a whole new level.
Yes. Yes.
I would agree with that. Eric Wasikowski, I'm more concerned the fact that the Bieber's parents gave custody over to Diddy for a week. And how messed up is Justin Bieber? Good Lord. Fight On says, I never liked his music. I always thought it was shitty. Did you really? I don't know about that. Him and Biggie and the thing. They made some music. The level of depravity is shocking, like a Caligula level stuff, dude. I don't even know how do you ever look somebody in the face and say, yeah, I did? Because they're saying, oh, yeah, the sex was, yeah, we did all this. There was no trafficking. Trafficking? Nobody was forced to do anything. Again, not denying all of the crazy baby lotion stories. Right?
Because that's your only way out, right? You're going to admit to the fact that you did these uncomfortable things, but you're going to say everyone agreed to do it.
And this is what we talked about the other day. If you're the parents of those kids that stayed at the Neverland Ranch, what Michael Jackson were you getting? Right? Like what Ted Nugent? Yeah. Yeah. Yes, rich people with the Marquis de Sade level debauchery. It's wild. It is wild. Gabriel, again, how many rich billionaires are getting exposed? Remember Vince McMahon? Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude. Yep.
Please. People close to Epstein said he had become numb to everything. He indulged himself to the point he couldn't find new things. How? He was very depressed in the end, according to sources. Well, and then he committed suicide.
Yeah.
You just agreed that Jeffrey Epstein committed suicide.
No, I'm not agreeing with that. I'm just saying.
Did he?
No, I don't think so.
So he was murked.
Yeah.
Okay. San Diego State Monty.
Morty.
And then there's Lyle and Eric Menendez.
Oh, man, dude.
Lyle and Eric Menendez. They're having their resentencing hearing. Jake, do you think they should get out?
You know, I have a really hard time with this, dude. These guys obviously have aged, now adults and everything. And they're trying to tell a story, you know, and lean on a letter that a brother wrote to a brother and, you know, say that's proof of what the situation was. And they had no choice to, you know, they had to do what they did. And I really struggle with this because I understand that in some situations, teenagers do what they did. And if they could go back, maybe they'd have done it differently. But that doesn't change the fact you did what you did. And I don't know. To be honest with you, I don't know if they should get out. I would have to talk to them. I would have to see them in person. I would have to be there to make a determination on this case because I think it's so difficult to tell. This is very much a lack of evidence, in my opinion, and a gut instinct type case if you're a judge. And I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, and the hearing began with the defense calling a cousin of Eric and Lyle who testified that the brothers have repeatedly expressed remorse for their actions. Another cousin said she had recently taken her 13-year-old son to meet the brothers in prison and that they would contribute a lot of good stuff to the world if they were released. Which is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's difficult, dude.
And they're saying that some of these cousins would allow the Menendezes to stay at their home. The resentencing hearing centers on whether the brothers have been rehabilitated in prison and deserve a lesser sentence than 50 to life. They would make them eligible for parole under California's youthful offender law because they committed the crimes under the age of 26. Mark Garagos, the attorney for the Menendez brothers, said he wants the judge to reduce their charge to manslaughter and give them time served, releasing them immediately. The LA County prosecutor argued against the resentencing, says the brothers have not taken complete responsibility for the crimes. Garagos emphasized that the purpose of the resentencing is to encourage rehabilitation. That's the law, not retaliate, he said, not to regurgitate the facts of the crime that the DA wants to. Okay. I think this is really interesting. I think it is fascinating to me that all these folks are like, oh, they got A+ grades in prison. If you're failing out of school in prison, that's a bigger problem. Right? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, come on. I don't know that I can.
It's
I
really
don't know.
difficult to make the case that they should get out. And you know, the conversation's reasonable, you know, but I don't know. I like I said, I think it's not cut and dry. I think that first thing that comes to mind, what else is their cousin going to say? Well, you think their cousin's going to say they should go back to prison the rest of their life? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't really put a lot of weight on that. I also am not sitting here saying that they are right now in current day standing awful people. I have no idea.
The
That's the hard
prosecutor,
part.
the prosecutor in the case is the district attorney of Los Angeles, Nathan Hochman. They have not come clean. Our position is not no, it's not never, it's not yet, Hochman said. They have not fully accepted responsibility for all of their criminal activities, pointing to the fact that they also snuck cell phones into jail as another one. As another one of their crimes.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I think if it's not clear cut, and I think if it's not an unequivocal, yes, these guys should be released, they probably shouldn't be released. You know,
the Menendez brothers were deemed a moderate risk by a parole assessment. A moderate risk to the community, according to the assessment. The assessment comes as the brothers seek their freedom. Parole experts said that this case represents uncharted territory, particularly because risk assessments aren't typically conducted for individuals who aren't eligible for parole. Like, that's crazy. A low risk means the highest chance of a grant. A high risk psych assessment almost is 0% chance. A moderate is truly right in the middle. Could go either way. Both Eric and Lyle have been caught with cell phones while in prison. Eric has faced disciplinary action for assaulting another inmate and possessing tobacco. Lyle has been cited for refusing an order and having contraband items, including a lighter and Adidas shoes. I don't know.
I'm not convinced either way, and I'm not sold either way. I part of me is like, yeah, they did this when they were, you know, kids, essentially.
I don't want anything to do with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah.
The crimes, and I'm not going to say it on the show. Go research what they're accused of doing and how they acted after the crime.
Yeah.
I mean, the level of narcissism, the level of that's not something I'm ready to. I don't think so.
I'm gonna head out. I'm not sold on that, bro.
Yeah. Backwoods, Sexy Mike Smith reports that both Sanders and Dillon had a good camp. Did you guys hear the Shedeur Sanders report?
Did.
He was the best quarterback in camp. And Dillon Gabriel did not have a bad camp, but Shedeur performed at an elite level. And bad news for Mason. Did you guys hear about Mason Graham? Remember Mason Graham, the defensive tackle? Could not keep pace with practice. Could not keep up. They say he is out of shape.
Yeah. Which
And
is
I asked,
wild.
How are you out of shape?
You're an NFL player. How are you out of shape?
Don't get it. Yeah, right. Mason Graham out of shape, threw up, but also showed flashes. Can't do that. Cannot do that. Can't do it. I think it's a huge problem. Having cell phones and SIGs should mean nothing in prison. That speaks nothing to who they'll be outside. It's prison. Well, that's one way of looking at it. That's one way of looking at it.
Yeah.
All right. Again, please, if you have a few moments, if you're somebody that's thought about getting help with your mental health, please consider Rula.com/Monty, $15. Most clients at Rula.com pay $15. They work with your insurance company as well. Get the therapy that you need in a timely fashion in the comfort of your own home, anywhere you want. Because once you get to Rula.com/Monty, they can connect you with a therapist tomorrow. You don't have to feel the weight of the world. You don't have to battle your mental health. Get to Rula.com/Monty. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. As always, we are presented by the Advocates at theadvocates.com. Tyrese Halliburton still has not shot another free throw. Jake ruined it for me. Evan Mobley doesn't shoot threes, apparently.
It'll happen.
We'll keep you up to date on that. We'll be back tomorrow. The 100 most dangerous days on the calendar are Memorial Day to Labor Day. Be prepared. Plan for the best. Be ready for the worst. Get to theadvocates.com. Get clear, risk-free advice 24/7, 365, and it won't cost you a dime. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.